How do you do? It would be a little unkind to present this picture without just a word of friendly warning. I think it will thrill you. It may shock you. It might even horrify you. So if any of you feel that you do not care to subject your nerves to such a strain, now is your chance to, well, we've warned you.
We'll do it live! Fuck it! Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live! Fucking thing sucks!
Fucking thing sucks! What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Wyatt's Metal Podcast. I am your host, Wyatt's Metal, currently taking a short break from freaking the fuck out over the Epstein files to come here and talk with you all about some hilarious metal shenanigans. Once again, I have returned from a break. This show is regularly inconsistent, how you could say. Rocket was just running around here. How's everybody doing? Hope everyone's having a good 2026 already, having a good time living in a world of run by elite pedophiles. But we're going to try to have some metal fun despite all that. Despite probably the alien invasion that's going to happen soon, we are going to try to have entertaining, fun, good metal stuff going on. I've been doing pretty good myself, besides everything. Lately, I feel like there's not been too much metal shit going on, which is why I didn't do an episode last week. It was just because I really didn't feel like I had much to even talk about. I was looking around for subjects. Got a little more this week. Something really hilarious I found out this morning, actually. Metal-wise, my band single will be coming up very, very, very soon. I know I keep saying that, but like we're messaging and send it over. It's being worked on any minute now. So calm down. You got the Epstein files before you got the new Dark Insanity single. Isn't that crazy? Who had Epstein files before GTA 6? Probably not many people. Metal-wise, there have been some cool tours announced. Life-wise, I'm one of the few people in America apparently who's not freezing to death. And I would just like to let everyone who is know that I'm jealous. Winter for you is non-existent here in California. Our winter is 4 weeks of fall for anywhere else, and then it's over. Anyway, let me get to some of these first comments. First one coming in from Projector, saying, I guess Ricky Gervais ain't the greatest fan of Billie Eilish. I don't think lots of sensible people are. Ricky Gervais, the only good host of the Golden Globes ever, you know. Also, that clip of Giancarlo Esposito, also known as Gustav Fring, the Chicken Man from Breaking Bad, about a revolution being similar from Shrek. Some of you may die, but it's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. Yeah, if you don't know what the reference is there, the Golden Globes just happened. One of the many Hollywood rituals where they give each other golden trophies and educate the public on what they should think. And Giancarlo Esposito, wearing a suit that cost more money than I've probably ever had, was talking about America and ICE and the deportations and everything happening. And he said literally word for word that it's time for revolution, time for civil war, that people need to take to the streets. And he said, some people may die, 15 people may die, but the rest of us will survive. He said it exactly like that, with giving the impression that obviously, you know, all of LA could die, but he would still make it because he wouldn't be out there doing the things he's telling people to do. Yeah. Without mentioning any other names, let me be one of the few metal vocalists apparently who will tell you not to go get yourself killed by law enforcement. Strong recommendation. Don't do it. Even if you hate them, you should like your survival more than that. Yeah. Fuck Chicken Man saying that normies should go out and get killed when he doesn't leave his house without private security. There was a time where I wanted to be in this whole Hollywood sphere, and I worked at Sony's award shows, and I've done like acting and everything. And it was like, there was a time where I thought this dude is such an amazing, brilliant actor, and he was for a role or two, let's be honest. And then he just started doing the same thing. But it's like, I'm so thankful that the whole star power fame illusion faded away for me once I got to like see a little bit of the inside, not even obviously fucking Epstein levels, but just entering the fucking door of where the plebs get to see how the elites hang. And I'm like, it's a lot of fake bullshit. So, totally metal conversation here, but fuck the Golden Globes, fuck the Grammys. We'll talk about that a little bit too, obviously. Koran says, hey, Wyatt, you know this might sound like a dumb question, but what's your opinion on Meshuggah? You mentioned in a video that you find math music boring, but by that logic, Meshuggah should be there. I definitely don't think Meshuggah's music is boring. They're not one that I listen to often, just because I mean, Gent's not boring. It just isn't structurally pleasing to me. Obviously, Bleed is insane, recognizing the immense talent of Meshuggah, of course. Definitely would never say that they're a bad band or they suck or anything. That is factually incorrect, but they're just not one of the bands that I really listen to or play often. I like dumber music. Hold up. I got carried away. Sharon says, long time no see. Welcome back. Thank you. Yeah, it happens. Sometimes there's not shit to talk about. And I don't really want to jump on here and be like, all right, here's things that we can go over, but like I really don't have any interest in, or I'm trying to like just farm and milk content. You know? Jedi Therapy LLC says, did you know it's scientifically proven that the manliest thing a guy can do is listen to Sabrina Carpenter? Get the fuck out of here. I'm trying to think of, should I change it up here? Because I know what you're expecting. Is it gonna happen, or am I gonna catch you by surprise with a different one and say that you need to repent?
Boo this man!
Of course, we had to throw the boo in there as well. You knew it was coming. Give the people what they want. Said Meshuggah is gent. That's what all the shitty bands trying to copy them are. Yeah, exactly. Meshuggah is just not really for me, but obviously fantastic, skilled band. The bands that copy them, I think, are crap. Where are we? Getting to some more comments real quick. Sophia says, what's up, guys? I finally found everything that has to do with Hollywood Undead, so now I have like 200 songs that have to do with them. That sounds like you just Googled them. As we all know, Sophia is the ultimate Hollywood Undead fan here, always freaking out about them. I hope that the savior of metal has already occupied Billie Eilish's villa. I'm scheduled to move in tomorrow. Calling the moving trucks. I already went in and took a scope out of the land that I'll be reclaiming, as she would so eloquently put it. Yeah, where do I even begin this rant of a 24-year-old who's never had a normal person job, telling people that no one is illegal on stolen land, which is a contradiction in and of itself. Even if you believe one of those things, those together don't really work. But lives in a fucking million dollar walled mansion with private security. Speaking at an event that not only... So, all award shows, the Oscars, the Golden Globes, all of these stupid preachy events with all of these Epstein clients and Diddy partiers telling everyone how to live. All of them take place in downtown LA at the Chinese Theater, whatever. That's where the Oscars were when I got to work it. They shut down the entire street, and like more than that, a couple of blocks for sure, where they install their own borders and their own police who check people for ID multiple times. And then they go in there and they feast on free food and give each other gold trophies that they bribed the judges for. And then they go up there and tell the plebs, the peasants, a certain G word that Epstein would use, how to live. It's, yeah. I don't know why the fuck anyone would even still have any faith in that shit. The Grammys happened at the same time the Epstein files drops. A lot of those people there were in the Epstein files or know people who were. And people will still look at the celebrities and the sparkly TV people. Obviously, you had to expect this rant was coming here. There's a lot going on. I've literally spent the last couple days just going over the Epstein file stuff that is insane. It's everything that I already knew, but to have it confirmed in your face is like, wow. Someone said, you played video games with Epstein. We all might have. If you didn't read the Epstein files, first of all, I literally don't understand why anyone's talking about anything other than the Epstein files right now. It came out that Jeffrey Epstein was banned on Xbox Live in like 2013, which was damn near fucking impossible to do. A lot of us tried. So, if you played Xbox Live back in 2010, 2011, 12, there's a strong chance that Jeffrey Epstein called you a retard. There's a strong chance that you teabagged Jeffrey Epstein. These are real, not conspiracy stuff. I never had Xbox Live. It was fun in the Halo 2 days. It was fantastic. I don't play online at all anymore just because I have no interest talking to other people. I think it's lame. This officially confirms Xbox is for the lames. And who was at the head of Microsoft? Epstein's best friend, Bill Gates. God. Not like for real. It's insane. We're going to talk about metal topics here. I have some really funny thing to go over. Yeah, obviously, you will be able to derail me very easily if you keep bringing up the Epstein files in the chat, because every conspiracy ever is correct. A while ago, I started saying that life is a lot more fun when you decide that every conspiracy theory is probably true. And then the other day, it was just confirmed that all of the conspiracy theories are true. So it's a wonderful day in America. I don't know. I think Jeff might like getting teabagged. That's what I'm saying. Don't you feel bad about that? Anyway, what the fuck are we going to talk about besides that? Kinky Sizemore, fresh from the boat, says post 70,000 tons of metal depression is underway. Yeah, the 70,000 tons of metal cruise just took place. Kinky Sizemore was there. I was not, unfortunately, but anyone who went to the cruise, let me know how it was in the chat. I was thinking of doing a video of just asking people who went how they thought it was. Seemed like it was pretty good. When I looked at the running order, that's one thing we could go over for funsies. That's not Epstein related, hopefully. I was looking at the running order for 70,000 tons of metal, and I thought the first and the last day were pretty good, but then the middle was kind of lacking. Let's see what the chat will say. Well, let me catch up on comments first, make sure we're not just jumping all over the place. I went to Little St. James and all I got was a t-shirt. I realized we just went from the Epstein files to talking about a cruise to the Caribbean. 70K was too cheap for him to notice. Conspiracy theories are true, correct. Dogma are in the Epstein files. That's not true so far. I mean, there's millions of pages. Who knows? Wouldn't that be fucking hilarious? Okay. Award shows are absolutely stupid, but not gonna lie, the proud Marylander in me couldn't help but be happy that Turnstile won big at the Grammys. It's been a while since we had a good band from here make it big. Yeah, Turnstile won the Grammy for Best Metal, which is strange. I don't think they're a shit band at all, but I think a lot of people would disagree that they're a metal band. Anyway, we got a super chat here. Let me get to that from OG Penguin. What is up, sir? Thank you for the $10 super chat. Hey, Wyatt, how are you today? My day was shit. Sorry to hear that. But the stream made it better. What are we getting in store today? Epstein was definitely banned for being freaky to kids through the screen. You had to try really fucking hard to get banned from Xbox Live in 2013. I was jokingly saying, what if that was Bill Gates just getting back at him for the blackmail and being like, oh, the only thing I can do is cancel your Xbox Live account. But sorry to hear you're having a shitty day, man. I'm doing all right here. Just staying on the YouTube grind. These award shows don't know jack shit about metal. Yeah, I don't know why anyone even gives a shit about the award shows at all, including the Grammys. But let's go to the 70,000 tons of metal running order, and then we'll go to the Grammys after that. And we'll keep jumping all over the place. But we have to stay on topic. It's difficult for me, as you know. 70,000 tons of metal. They usually announce where they're going. Did they not announce that when the cruise ended? Anyways. Sure, give me all of... Oh, shit, where'd the running order go? Fuck. Blah, blah, blah. Thank you, I know that. You don't have to rub it in my face. Getting on the boat. Soon, running order. Here we go. All right, are you guys... No, you're not seeing the right page. Dun-da-da-da. So, the 70,000 tons of metal cruise that just wrapped up. Going over the running order, if people had went, the first bands were either Violence in the ice rink or Seven Spires in the Star Lounge. This is always the craziest part of the cruise, because when these bands start, the cruise is docked in Florida. When these bands end, you're in the middle of the ocean, and you really barely notice the shit moving. So the first time, it's super weird. You walk in and you walk out, and you're like, oh, we're in a different location now. The first day of the cruise, the pool deck is not open because they have to build it day of as they get there. They don't have access to the cruise beforehand. But anyway, not to read off everything. The first day bands I personally would have watched would have been Gamma Bomb, Camelot, Tear, Notice Already, The Time. Bands go very late on the cruise ship. First band I would have been really stoked for is Anthrax, even though they were my first metal band. I've seen them a bunch. Still would be awesome. They played at 11:15 in the Royal Theater. And then right after them was Canon and Fever in the ice rink. That would have been fucking sick. Anthrax to Canon and Fever. I am jealous of people who got to experience that. And then after here, I would like to think I would do more stuff, but I would have been dead because it would be 1:15 in the fucking morning. But 70,000 tons of metal isn't bound by things like time. So they have Amorphous playing at 1:15. We have Leaves Eyes playing at 3 in the morning. Dust Bolt at 4:30 in the morning. If you're like me and you wake up super fucking early, you cross by people who are about to pass out. It's crazy. This band played at 5:15 in the fucking morning. It sounds fun until you're there and it's really hard. I mean, if you're not a pussy like me, then it's probably easy, but Dark Insanity Rock, someone says in the chat. Thank you. I'd assume a cruise would be all hair metal bands. They like casinos. There's some cruises there are. There's like Monsters of Rock cruise. Shipwreck's not hair bands, but it's not grimy metal. That 70K is more like... No, 70K, for those who don't know, is insane. People are moshing everywhere in the elevators, partying all day and night. Some people don't sleep at all. I wonder how they die. Or I wonder how they don't die, because they just stay up for the entire cruise being powered by alcohol Shitty alcohol, too. I'm trying to see what comments did I miss. Kinky Sizemore, fresh from the cruise, says we did not get dates, destination, or ship at the end of the cruise, so no info for next year. That's weird. Yeah, they usually give a location and a lot more information. Maybe they're trying to plan better. Could only hope. Blood Red says 70K went to the Bermuda Triangle. That would be awesome. Would you not be curious? How hedonistic does 70,000 tons of metal get on the cruise? Extremely. It's a bunch of savages taking over a luxury cruise ship. It's not dangerous, but it's the wildest partying you've seen. Like, every room is a party. Band members are all over the place. The bars pretty much never close. If they do, it's from like 4 to 6 a.m. or something. You could probably still find other ones. No, the wildest partying of a metal festival is at 70,000 tons. Especially last day when everybody wears costumes. Moshing with superheroes and Pikachus. Everything. The Bermuda Triangle is just a hurricane. It's a really powerful hurricane that happens all of the time. 70K is going to Epstein Island, yo. That is going to be one of the packages. For the extra price, you can do the excursion of hunting people like they apparently did. Anyway. Get to the next day in a sec here. But that is the first day, ending at 6 a.m. the next day. Day 2, which... Oh, yeah, this is when the schedule was changed, right? Because usually when the cruise happens, the first actual, like, wake up, you're on the boat day is all day at bands. But the schedule had to be changed because of the fucking ice storms out on the East Coast. So they went from Miami straight to Nassau. And how was Nassau? I didn't hear anybody say anything about it. It's just a nice beach resort, basically. That's it. Will free all-you-can-eat newborns be at Epstein Island? Really, you can pay extra for that. It doesn't come. The buffet is free, but you want the luxury stuff. You want the adrenochrome cocktail. You got to pay extra. Just the drink package doesn't cut it. They had to state in the safety video that no fornication is allowed in the hot tubs. Oh, yeah. They do safety video now, right? Because for the first many, many years, they've made everybody go to the safety drill. It was so fucking annoying. But I think now they just play a video in your room like an airplane you don't have to watch. Y'all ever been in a wall of death? I've been in a wall of death on the cruise. It's very fun. During, I think, Strapping Lad and Emperor, we did it. The current ship is having work reassignments, so it's not likely to be the next ship. There's several date ranges and ships to choose from, but they haven't ironed out the details. And they probably won't. They'll keep it a secret for a long time. Better than Jamaica. Nassau? Yeah. If you're trying to chill and, not have people harass you, then yeah. Oh, we went to... Where was the last place that we went to? Dominican Republic? Jamaica's the same way. The fucking street hustlers there are horrendous. I don't care. This will get me canceled, but I don't care. When the ship arrives to Jamaica and place with all of these people bugging you for money, they should give you a fucking cattle prod. And you walk and be like, no, back off. They're horrible. Not everyone on these countries, but the people who come up. My brother man, where you going, my brother man? The ones ripping you off, fuck them. But I met a very, very nice Jamaican lady. Was she Jamaican or Dominican? Wherever we were. From a weed shop that was apparently legal there. I had no idea about. Have you ever jumped off the boat on a cruise? No. That you will be kicked off and banned for life if you survive. Don't do that. Yeah, if you survive and don't break anything, you're at least getting banned for life off the cruises. Or you could be like the dude from Headbanger's boat who jumped off running away from security and died. The boat moves, if you're not aware. In Jamaica, they always tell you they have weed grown at Bob Marley's grave. Yeah, it's just some like crap that they just had in their diaper. Islands are friggin' cool. There's a reason they're often the setting for Far Cry. Yeah, I've gone to there a lot because of the cruise now. So it's definitely interesting new change of landscape. I would love now to check out like winter cruises or some of the smaller metal cruises, but go to places like Sweden or Norway and stuff. I think that would be cool just because it'd be such a change for me. But yeah, going to those islands is crazy. You definitely feel like you're in Jurassic Park or Far Cry. Just don't go around killing people. Got a $5 super chat from Logan Johnson. What is up? Thank you, sir. Says, hey, Wyatt, sorry I'm late. What did I miss? We made fun of the Grammys a little bit, but we'll do more so after we're going over the 70,000 tons running order. And I keep going on random rants about the Epstein files. And they'll kind of just keep going back and forth throughout this podcast. Someone said it's almost impossible to get good cannabis in Jamaica if you're a visitor. Just drink the shitty. Yeah, just drink the shitty rum. Was it Jamaica or Dominican Republic? Where did the cruise last go to? Because one of these islands, I found an actual weed dispensary that was quite good, and I was not expecting. Pool deck was freezing even with the sun out. That's crazy because usually, I mean, the wind can. If it was cold and then the wind, that's crazy. Hot tub was probably great. Anyway, we haven't even started yet. Day 2 of 70,000 tons of metal. If they ran around Nassau and had fun and came back on the boat, the first bands were Orden, Ogon, whoever that is, and Isgrim. I might have said that wrong, but I definitely would have watched them. Cool, badass, old school band. Amorphous playing again after they played. Amorphous played at 1:15, and then the next day they played at fucking 7. At least I got to sleep in a little bit. Jesus. Beast in Black would have been awesome. I like them. Yeah, for people who think I hate power metal for some reason, I like Beast in Black. Skeletal Remains. Hell yeah. Awesome brutal death metal. And then Ken on a Favorite again at midnight 03. They played. What? Day 1 of 70,000 tons of metal. Ken on a Fever played from 12:30 to 1:15. Day 2, Ken on a Fever played at 12:30 to 1:15. Why? Their planning is so stupid. It's like, I want to absolutely love this cruise, but then they do really bizarre shit like that. Vader at 3:30 in the fucking morning. Yeah. I like epic sounding metal. Me too. Me too. It was Jamaica. I legit just got done watching that video. Confirmed that Wyatt doesn't watch his own vid. There you go. Yeah. It's confirmed I don't sit around watching myself. I can't remember where the fuck I went. Basically. It was Ocho Rios. You're right. These islands look really similar. Whether you're in Dominican Republic, Haiti, Jamaica, Epstein Island, they all look very similar. That's why I made this joke yesterday, or the other day. All those videos of Joe Biden randomly wandering off into bushes, he was trying to find where Epstein Island was. He just forgot. It gets confusing when you go to all these similar places. Anyway, I think this day is kind of lacking. I would have watched Beast in Black and On Fever, even though they did the same thing 24 hours earlier. Day 3, the first full day, nonstop, 10 a.m. band start. If you notice, the last band was ended at 5:45 a.m. The first band starts at 10 a.m. Same day. I heard this band was good, but I don't know who they are. But high raise. My friends who were there said they were good. Heathen, it's cool. Satan's making an appearance. This is actually just a TED Talk by Satan. It's like, I had nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. I thought that shit was weird. Beast in Black, 7:45 or 6:45. I've gotten so good at reading military time because of metal festivals, because all the European ones do it like this, because everyone comes from different places. So now I automatically just see it as the normal time, like translated. Good thing is there have been plenty of time to enjoy the pool and the slide and the drinking and going to the main dining room and then seeing bands like Dark Tranquillity who play all the time. Anthrax again on the pool deck. That would have been sick. When I went on it was the Megadeth cruise, but Megadeth didn't play it. It was the Megadeth cruise headlined by Lamb of God. The two biggest bands were Anthrax and Lamb of God, and both sets they performed in the theater. At no point did they play on the pool deck. It was really fucking lame, actually. But I think that only happened 1 year, and then Lamb of God took over, and that one seems fun. I'd like to do that. Elevati! I didn't even see them on here before. Elevati played. They're great. Windrose, a lot of fun. That would have been awesome. Hyrax going 12:30 to 1:15. Late night old school thrash, except it was in the Star Lounge, which usually kind of sucks. Andy made his farewell speech while wearing a thick winter jacket. Isn't he Canadian? He should be used to it. Come on. I know it's cold for like Florida people, but he should have been fine. Kinky Sizemore says Beast in Black was unable to play the pool deck and had to play at 4:15 a.m. at the theater. It was easily the smallest crowd from Beast in Black I've seen, but it was super cool and intimate. I saw a clip of that set, and the singer looked very tired. Most of those bands are obviously way too nice to say anything, but you could tell they're not thrilled about it. I remember I watched Infected Rain on the cruise at like 4:30 a.m., and I just really got the strong feeling that they weren't too pleased about it, but they're too nice to let that show at all. Too professional. Kinky Sizemore again said, I refuse to see bands. Yeah. It's damn near impossible. Unless it's a really fun band where it kind of doesn't matter. This like one of the video game bands in there. That can be fun because the crowd's ridiculous. But a band you genuinely want to see in there, it's awful. The sound is shit. You can't see anything unless you're right in front of the stage. OG Penguin with a $5 super chat. Thank you, sir. Shout out to you. Says, I've never been to 70K, but I have to ask, if the bands play all night long, how do people sleep? Some people don't. Some people like me try to stay awake but can't and find ourselves around where we're at. Being completely real, I would have probably been watching Elvati from 11:30 to 12, struggling to stay awake, and I would have caught probably some of Windrose and then been like, I can't fucking do it, and then I would have died at that point. Some people party the whole time. Since bands do start at 10 a.m., it's you can catch 4 hours of sleep if you go to bed at 6. It depends. People are waking up at different times. People are sleeping at different times. People pass out all over the ship. In the elevator, the stairs, the hallways. Everywhere on the pool deck, people are passed out. One year I opened the elevator door and there was some people laying on the ground with like their bed sheets and pillows and everything. Some people just seem to literally run off of alcohol and don't sleep and just do the whole fucking thing. OG Penguin says, I can't go past 3, 4 a.m. I used to be that way. Now I can't go past like 1. It sucks in some ways. Kinky Sizemore says, I get like 5 hours of sleep usually, unless I just really need the extra couple hours in bed, but day 4 is a struggle. Yeah, and for me, when I go to festivals, like I'm usually good off 4 or 5 hours. I can run the rest of the day fine. As long as I just stop and actually lay down and sleep for a bit, then I'm usually good. Or you could be like Vitriol and just do nose beers. That can happen sometimes. Happens more on the islands than it does on the ship, but anyway, this was day 3, right? All right, day 4. Or did we even finish? Yeah, day 4. I'm dying. Meet and greets, I don't care. The last day of the cruise, usually the most fun day. The party day where everyone wears costumes. There are mosh pits of superheroes and all kinds of shit. First band I would have watched would have been Tier at 11:30 on the pool deck. Honestly, last day of the cruise, I tend to hang out on the pool deck pretty much the entire day, unless there's really good bands I want to see, because it's your last chance. It's ending. But Tier, Hyrax on the pool deck, that would have been fun. That would have been really cool. Arcona. I haven't seen them in a long time, but Arcona in the Royal Theater would have been great. We got Insomnium's fine. I don't like dislike him, but I'm not super into him either. Gamma Bomb, fun. I would say Rhapsody, but don't have the members I like anymore. Dust Bowl. It's the Star Lounge, but something to do for a bit while you're waiting, I guess. You got Camelot on the pool deck, Elevati on the pool deck, Windrose in the theater, Dark Tranquility, last band on the pool deck, last band of the cruise being High Rays at 1:30 a.m. So like throughout the whole cruise, there's some bands I would definitely been stoked for, but there's definitely been other years where I felt like there was more I was interested in, more running back and forward. 2020, before the world shut down, I remember it went, what was it? I think it went Emperor, Devontown. No, wait, I'm getting confused. It went Devin Townsend doing Strapping Young Lad, and then it went At the Gates, and then Emperor, and then Venom, like all back to back. That was fucking crazy. This has some cool shit, but I'm not super disappointed that I didn't attend this year, just lineup wise. It would have been fun. Like, it's not like, oh, it looks like absolute dog shit. In some ways, it's kind of good when you don't want to see every single band on the lineup because it's not possible. You would drive yourself insane trying to do that. Sharon says, Arcona and Hellslot playing the Whiskey February 8th. In 4 days. Check it out. Let me fly back up to see what I've been missing. I'm catching up with the chat. I got thrown off. Saw Wolfheart at 4 a.m. on the pool deck and wanted to jump off the boat at the end of it. Wrecked. Yeah, if you try to stay up and go crazy, like, I want to see every band, you're going to be dead. The day after the cruise, I strongly recommend getting a hotel in Florida and just doing nothing. Just going and crashing. If you go straight from the cruise ship to the airport to like a 10-hour flight, you're going to want to die. It makes a big difference. With that much alcohol, people vomiting over the side, probably a bit. I mean, not it's not like the rails lined up with people puking over it or anything, but maybe somewhat. Although the ship's kind of high up, it was going to fly around. You might end up throwing up on somebody down on their balcony below. I was getting 5 hours of sleep daily because of my job. It's bad for your health. Oh, yeah, absolutely. But at festivals, it's fine. Festivals, your body goes into hunter-gatherer mode. It really does. Kinky Sizemore says, my cutoff time is 2 a.m. unless it's a situation where I really have to see someone and cannot make it to their second set. Yeah. It's difficult. You get into that zombie state after midnight. You go want to see the bands, but I go like in and out of consciousness, and I'll literally be Kevin McDougal says, I will try to convince a family of doctors that this is an entertainment cruise. It's like Disneyland. Then I can go. There you go. I could never drink on a boat. That is insane. I puke off the side watching people scuba dive and whale watch, and I'm the only one doing it. I'm a land metalhead. I belong on land with the mammals. It's definitely weird. It's like it depends where you stand on the boat. You can feel it in some places more than others. I think towards the front and back of the ship, you can definitely feel it the most. There's been times where it was rocking really hard. And then there's other times where you don't even notice that it's moving. But Kinky Sizemore again says 70K's lineup was stacked in my opinion. Too bad some of them got stuck with time slots that I could not justify. Yeah. And I feel bad for the bands too, because they don't know what time they're playing either, usually until they get on the ship or the day the running order goes up. I don't think I know for sure some of those bands don't get a phone call saying, hey, do you want to play the cruise? We'll put you on at 4 a.m. Some of them agree to play and then find out they're playing that fucking late. A lot of bands kind of view the cruise more as promotion because, I mean, if you get a great slot, then yeah, it's amazing. If you get one of those shitty slots, you still get the photos that you were there performing on the ship, and that can go in your resume. So it's not a complete waste. Anyway, a lot of bands are asked only a few weeks before. Some bands are asked a couple days before. It's been a problem forever. I met you when you were at the 70K casino in 2024, and you looked like you were having World War I trench warfare. Right, yeah, exactly. And I definitely wasn't drinking then. Fucking one of my friends said that when I'm tired, it looks like I'm drunk. And I do kind of really quickly go from I'm awake and fine to just barely going in and out. Like, yeah, if you catch me past midnight, there's a strong chance I will not remember that interaction at all. And I don't party like I used to. Do the bands have to pay to get on? No. No, they do not. But only like the really big bands would be getting paid at all. A lot of those bands are getting paid in exposure or the experience. Flights paid, I don't know about that part. I want to feel like for some of them, probably not. For quite a few of them to get added last minute, it's probably like, hey, if you show up, you can do it. You know, like it's there's a bunch of bands who will get approached by 70K a week before the cruise happens, and let's say, hey, if you make it out to Florida, in 2 days or so with the whole band, then you guys can play the cruise. And they're like, oh shit, this is our opportunity. We got to do it. And you rush everything to get out there with, a couple days notice, which is really hard for any band. And then find out you're playing at like 4 a.m. when there's nobody there. Still fun. I've talked to some bands who were in that basic situation. Like they still had never been on a cruise before, never been on a vacation like that. And they're still seeing bands they love. So it's not like complete shit or anything, but that's just how it operates. 76 people in the chat. Let's go. Yeah, people hit like on the stream. Helps me out a lot. I know it's annoying to be like and subscribe and share, but it helps. So be a pal. Someone said, what is the best way to waste time while you're on a flight? For me now, the Steam Deck is the best thing ever. That definitely changed flights for me. Back in my day, flying to Europe, you had a black and white Game Boy where you had to attach the light to it that just put a glare on the screen, wired headphones, a CD player with whatever, like 3 CDs you managed to bring. Now I got my Steam Deck. I can play Red Dead Redemption 2. I can play other games. Last time I went to 70K, that's when I started playing Red Dead on the flight. It was fucking cool. I think I did a couple missions on the boat. Yeah, Steam Deck gaming is the way to go for me. Oh, actually, let me rephrase that. Let me change my answer completely. Because that is a fantastic way to spend time on an airplane. But what I have found out has made flights go by really quickly for me personally is writing. Ever since I started the channel, when I have gone to Europe, when I've come back, if I spend the flight writing my next video, that makes it feel like it goes by so quickly. And it also has the added bonus of I've did work on the flight. I feel like it was actually productive. I've had plenty of times where I was had like maybe music low in the background, but was mostly just writing for a video, and that helped the flight a lot. But if you're not a YouTuber or a writer, video games, 100% would be my answer. Wyatt is an underrated YouTuber. Thanks. I appreciate that. I try my best. In my day, I played a DS, now a Switch. Switch is much better. Yeah, first time I played Super Smash Brothers on a flight was great. But, oh man, first flights to Europe were rough. Playing shitty old Game Boy before DS. Couldn't just go on the internet on your phone as soon as you landed. You had to take out like a plan or whatever. Oh, wait, wrong one. Says, I like to find more metal bands that make use of keyboards like Children of Bodom. Someone is looking for melodic death metal. A lot of bands on that cruise might spark your interest. Insomnium Gatherum is one that I like a lot. Less speedy than Children of Bodom, but still great. Insomnium was on there. They're a little more, less speed metal-y, but I remember when you mentioned whiny lyrics, the only time it worked was with Judas Priest. There's a difference between like heartfelt, emotional songs and being like the whiny emo voice. Some people get confused when I say I hate when bands do from harsh singing to clean like that. It's because they always do it in this whiny, lame-ass voice. It's cool when bands can do like an actual powerful voice. That's awesome. But I don't get why you'd be playing angry, brutal, heavy music, and then I am crying and my voice is cracking. Like, I'd rather that. Like, that's fine. It's not clean singing in general. That's fucking terrible. It's whiny people. You know? Wyatt, do you listen to any slam bands? No. It's not my thing. I don't give a fuck about breakdowns or I mean, like, there's some bands that are fine-ish. I mean, would you consider Skinless a slam band? They're kind of close. I like them a lot. They're fucking great in Milwaukee. It's not a genre I'd fucking like despise. They don't do whiny emo singing, but I am not impressed with breakdowns and the gurgly gurgles. It kind of just sounds the same to me after a bit. There's a difference between soft vocals and whiny vocals. Exactly. Slipknot does it amazingly. I don't know if I would agree about them doing it amazingly, but they definitely are not the worst offenders by any means of angry to clean singing. Jurassic Priest. God damn. That's great. Love Judas Priest, but that's a fantastic one. Someone asked, what scene of San Andreas were you in? Yeah, I was in the background of that really awful film San Andreas with The Rock a long fucking time ago. I don't even know if that one made it. I was literally one in a crowd of like 100 people or something in the background just walking through the city. We were like walking down a street in San Francisco and it was blocked off. Some of the buildings had like a green screen over it where they were going to digitally put damaged buildings and stuff. But there was nobody there. There was no famous actors or anything, any famous Epstein clients there. It was just extras be like, all right, Heard, walk that way for a second. That was it. So I'm quite positive you can't see me unless you paused and went frame by frame looking for every single person in a group shot. But if you want to see me in movies, The Master by Paul Thomas Anderson, I'm in that quite a bit in the background, but in the beginning of the film and then in the middle, you can clearly see me there. Is there other ones? That was the main one where like, oh shit, there I am right there. But most of the others were like background group shot things where it'd be really difficult to notice. Weren't you also in a Hellfest promo video? I don't know about that. I don't think so. I was in a Terminator promo video because Terminator's fucking awesome, and that's the festival that we're playing this year in Slovenia. Come check out the Terminator Fest. Going to be fucking amazing. Sharon said, Opeth has mixed vocals that are great. Yeah, I would definitely not count Opeth in the whiny vocal section. I'm not even a big Opeth fan. A little too proggy-ish for me. I like when they sound really gothic. But vocal-wise, yeah, absolutely. A 2 thumbs up. If it sounds like the singer is writing a breakup post on MySpace, it ain't for me. I agree. I completely agree. Wyatt Day Lewis over here. Oh, yeah. Didn't work with him. Did work with Joaquin Phoenix. Did work with Philip Seymour Hoffman. Who else was there? Other people. Hold up. Sorry. Yeah. Bro, I liked your video about hating the Deftones. I hate that boring whisper shit, dude. All right, just to clarify, it wasn't only about hating the Deftones, but yes, they're definitely on there. Funny thing, when I was making that video of bands that I'd never liked, the band that was the most painful for me to listen to while I was making it was the Deftones. All of the other ones, I was like, yeah, I don't like this. This is annoying. This is dumb, whatever. The Deftones literally sounds like adolescent purgatory to me. It sounds like you were held late after class. It sounds like trying to ignore listening to your parents fight in the living room. It's like all of the not fun, miserable moments of youth. That's what the Deftones sounds like to me. I don't know why. Other ones are fun. Like, Goldfinger sounds like playing Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Fucking Limp Bizkit sounds like pounding Mountain Dew and playing Halo 2. Deftones sounds like when you were considering suicide. And thankfully you didn't do it, or you wouldn't be watching this. But God, Deftones sounds like your first breakup. That's what they sound like. That's the best definition for them. The funny thing was, how many people actually agreed with that video? I thought I'd get way more rage comments being like, "Oh, you fucking loser," but most people are like, "Wow, I agree with pretty much all of this." Or Joe Below says, "I agree with 7 of the 10 bands." That's pretty good. I'll take those numbers. Can't Lie, a part 2 would be awesome. Maybe. We'll have to. I was surprised that one did well, but we'll have to see. I'll have to think of even more. I didn't want to go with obvious ones. What am I going to do? Like Nickelback, because duh. Like, be like, I needed ones where I could explain something interesting or funny about it. And I missed. Rob Hellfire says System of a Down is the worst, especially for switching vocal styles every 10-15 seconds. This one I have to disagree with a little bit because they don't do the whiny vocals, but they do have a really weird, unique sound where I am impressed by how quickly and precise they can basically change styles and change what they're playing. But I can understand it not being for everybody. I'm not a big, massive fan either, so. But I wouldn't say they're the worst. Oh, God, they're way, way worse ones. Five Finger Death Punch, I think, is way worse. For me, System of a Down is way overrated. That's fair. That's totally fair. Deftones are in the Epstein files. I don't believe they are, but the Deftones are what the Epstein victims felt like afterward. That's what they sound like. Just fucking misery. I guess he'll hate Durengray. You are correct. Anyway, Epstein files. I turned deaf after listening to Deftones. Pretty much. Anyway, yeah, that was the rant about whatever we're talking about. Bands I don't like, Deftones being annoying. Let's go over some fun things, shall we? We have a couple of news things. Let's do, you know what? We'll go through the quicker stories first and then get to this main one that I thought was fucking hilarious. But I'm dying. First bit of news topic thing to go over. We can talk about the gay-ass Grammys, I guess. Turnstile wins 2026 Best Metal Performance Grammy for Birds. I don't know why anyone gives a fuck about the Grammys at all. Seems strange to me. They were honored with Best Metal Performance, even though they're not really a metal band. Even if you like them, aren't they kind of more mainstream punk sounding? Blah, blah, blah. Bunch of info. In the Best Rock Album category, Turnstile beat Deftones. This is just awful all the way around. Ham, Linkin Park, and Youngbloods. So were they nominated for... The nominations made Turnstile the first band or artist nominated across rock, alternative, and metal. Well, that's fucking lame. That sounds like a big waste of space and time. Winners were determined by the Recording Academy's voting members, a peer group composed of music creators, including artists, songwriters, and Epstein clients. So who gives a fuck what they have to say about anything at all? That's my... It doesn't matter who won. I'd still think all of it was lame as shit. The nominees for Best Metal Performance were Dream Theater, Ghost, Sleep Token, Spirit Box, and Turnstile. I think it should have went to nobody. And Spirit Box actually did perform live at the Grammys, which boring plebs are excited about. Not trying to be rude, but Linkin Park died when Chester did. Now it's Thunder Liberal music. What does Thunder Liberal mean? I don't know what that means, but I think most people would agree that Linkin Park died with Chester, unfortunately. It sucks that I didn't appreciate them at the time when I could have. I saw real Linkin Park at a festival in 2015, but I was being like an extreme metal hater and being like, oh, I'm too cool for this mainstream shit. But I do remember being surprised by them. I thought their sound was really good and Chester was impressive live. So I was standing there being like, it's not black metal, but I guess it's all right. Yeah, I think anyone did. First of all, did anyone even know the Grammys was happening? Because I sure did not. Until after it was over. It was not the only metal-ish thing that happened there. Youngblood wins Best Rock Performance Grammy for cover of Black Sabbath's Changes. He won the Grammy for the cover he did at the Back to the Beginning concert, and I had no idea that you could win a Grammy for doing a live cover once. I thought it had to be like recorded on an actual album, but it was a good, everybody liked the cover. The Youngblood earned some respect from metal fans for that cover, sure. How the fuck do you win a Grammy off of doing a cover once? Youngblood won 2026 Grammy for Best Rock Performance for his live cover, Black Sabbath's Changes. The performance was recorded last July at Back to the Beginning. The original version appeared on Sabbath's fourth album. He was backed by Frank Bello, who was there. Yeah, Frank Bello left 70,000 Tons of Metal early to attend the Grammys.
Boo this man!
I like Frank Bello, but yes, that was weird. You just have the video. I don't want to read the whole thing. What was Young? Oh, wait. Am I going to get copyright for playing something from the Grammys? Let's find out.
Come on, Sharon. Come on, rock and roll! Hi, guys. Sorry. You do not expect to be up here and then you fucking are, so it's wild. To grow up loving an idol that helps you figure out your identity, not only as a musician, but also as a man, is something that I'm truly grateful for. But then to get to know them and form a relationship with them, honor them at their final show, and receive this because of it, is something that I think we're all finding so strange to comprehend. We fucking love you, Ozzy. We would all like to thank Sharon, Jack, Kelly, and Amy for this opportunity. Everyone at the Back to the Beginning show, the whole band with me right now, where 6 generations of rock musician came together in the name of our genre, in the name of Sabbath, and in the name of Ozzy Osbourne.
Does that mean that everyone else's performances were not worthy? This was the only one recognized by the Academy of Epstein clients.
I want to thank my team and on behalf of everyone, all their teams.
Not them specifically. I mean the people in charge of the Grammys.
I deeply love this genre. It's all I've ever known. We want to dedicate this, and I want to dedicate this to everyone in the guitar shop I grew up in, and everyone in a guitar shop or a bedroom with a dream. Rock music's fucking coming back. Watch out, pop music. We're going to fucking get you. The last time I saw Ozzy Osbourne, you asked me if there was anything you could do for me. I answered the music was enough. And I can safely say on behalf of all of us, that still stands now and it will do forever. You'll be with me every time I'm nervous and on stage at every show. God bless rock music and God bless fucking Ozzy Osbourne.
Well, isn't that nice? I mean, yeah, I just didn't know that you could fucking win a Grammy for doing one cover once. Isn't that weird? Gerbert says, I don't trust British people. Someone asked, did Rage Mage ever explain what a thunder liberal was? Where'd that go? Did he? I'm not sure. Now I have to go back through all of this. I don't know. It got lost in the chat. Yeah, my thought on the Grammys is I don't give a shit in the slightest. I don't care that Spirit Box played the most, like, one of the most mainstream welcomed metal bands right now. Anyway, yeah, people are saying the Grammys, when they did their in memoriam, they didn't mention Brett Hines from Mastodon, which shouldn't be. You should be impressed that they remembered Ozzy at all. If Sharon wasn't physically there in person, they probably would not have mentioned Ozzy. To the Grammys' defense, Youngblood's performance was the only one to receive a proper release. Everything else hasn't been released yet. And, well, so it's like available on Spotify or Apple or something. We should have metal awards where metal bands get awarded for actually good albums that deserve it, not this cash in, cash out of bands I haven't heard of. They did the Metal Hammer Awards for a little bit, where they rented out somewhere in LA and gave Slipknot and people awards. I thought it was fucking lame. Do we need award shows in metal? Do we need award shows at all? This is like an old, like, ritual from past times that should be forgotten. Do we give a fuck about, like, celebrities and people on stage that much anymore until we should have any type of award show? I don't know. Yeah, every time I watched the Metal Hammer Awards, I think twice or something, it was cringe as fuck. It was never like, whoa, this is badass, like, cool. It was just watching metal musicians you like just doing the same fucking lame shit. There was the Revolver Golden God Awards. That's what I'm talking about. That's, yeah. Metal Hammer Awards, but they mostly suck too. I think mostly what I was thinking about was the Revolver Golden God Awards. But all metal award shows are stupid and lame. Your fans are your award. You don't need some people on some team to decide who the winners are. Honestly, award shows in general nowadays are lame. Exactly. Exactly. Anyway. What else is there to talk about? Oh. In other funny news, this went up earlier today over on Lamb Goat. Speaking of bands being douchey and this whole like kind of celebrity nonsense of a lot of it, a band that we love very much on this channel, President, the best, most unique, original, from the ground up DIY band to ever exist. Definitely not industry plants. Definitely not manufactured. Definitely not a pop star guy who already had a career who put on a stupid lame ass mask and is just banking off of the whole sleep token and ghost trend. Definitely not 100% real band. A fan is facing backlash from obscure promotion for posting photos of President at Prague show. Just like a real president, slapping people with lawsuits. Where would you get the idea that they're an industry plant? I have no idea. Just a hunchy hunch I'm just happening to get. In a trending post on Reddit, somebody recently attended an architect show, which included landmarks and President as support. That sounds terrible. She shared that she is currently being asked by obscure promotion to remove President's photos taken at the show. The promotion company went as far as to reach out via IG direct message to ask her to remove them. The fan took to Reddit to ask for advice. Says, I recently saw President in Prague and I had my point and shoot with me, which was allowed per venue regulations. Nowhere did it say that President does not allow photography. Everyone around me was taking photos and videos. Not sure how to go about this. Any advice? And then this was the screenshot that they shared, or a couple of them, from obscure promotion. I don't know who the fuck that is. I guess it's the promotion company for President, or maybe it's someone just trying to rip him off. But they sent this person a message saying, please note that a strict no photography policy applied specifically to President, not the other bands, not the headliner, just the opener, including a complete ban on cameras. This rule was part of the event conditions and has been violated. We request the immediate removal of these photos. Thank you. That's kind of weird. Usually, I don't think I've ever seen that where they were like, hey, no photos for the opening band. The other bands are fine. You can take photos of the headliner, but for the opening band, strictly enforce no photos. First of all, that doesn't really help with the whole you're a totally legit band vibe. The person responded, good morning. As per my research prior to attending the concert, I could not find anything regarding a no photography policy in the event conditions. During my research, I consulted the venue's website and they specified pocket cameras being allowed, which is what I used, blah, blah, blah. Smaller than my phone. It was in my bag and checked by staff upon entering the venue and allowed through. Looks like they responded with some links about the show. Link about the event guide for architects here. And they said, we have info on Instagram and Facebook, which tells you that any camera is not allowed. So we kindly ask you to take away the photos even our photographers was not allowed to take a pictures of president. If they do, there will be financial penalty. So if you are not get in trouble, remove the photos. Are you retarded or very not used to English? Because that came off really stupid. And if I personally would assume that was like some scam person, even though I'm assuming they looked at obscure promotion more than I did right now. I have never heard of an opening band not allowing pictures, but the other bands allowing it. If you say you have info on Instagram and Facebook which say no cameras only for this band, but it didn't say that on the official venues website, does it say that on the ticket? If it doesn't say on the ticket nor on the venue's website that there were no photos allowed, I would tell you to go fuck yourself. That's just me. I'm assuming this person looked into it more and talked to them more. So if you're watching, I'm not saying take my legal advice, but this is weird. This is very weird. First of all, fuck president, the industry plant in every single way. Everything about this is lame as shit. I would 100% tell you to go fuck yourself. Is there more to this, or is that everything? I think that's everything. So we kindly ask you to take the photos away or we'll hit you with a financial penalty. Do I have a clip for that? What would I say to that? I don't think I have anything funny enough for it to work. Anyway, how about no? If it doesn't have 150 you knows in the paragraph, at least we know it wasn't that one dude. I don't know. New up-and-coming bands never want the free promotion of fan pictures on social media, right? Yeah. Up-and-coming bands who are totally organic always tell fans, don't take pictures. In the age of smartphones, you have to be a real uptight twat of a music artist if you ban photos and videos during live shows. Yeah, the only one I've had experience with doing that is Danzig. He tells his security to yell at people for taking their phones out, and it's really fucking annoying. I've definitely gotten pissed off at them before. But Danzig was never opening. He was headlining. So that sounds like a scam. It's suspicious. It's weird for sure. They were most likely an automated bot sending an automated response. Maybe. I don't know. Got a $2 super chat from Chris R. Not saying anything. Just throwing $2 on the table like, bow, making it rain. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Epstein isn't dead. He's the member of president. Hence the no photo policy. Oh, God, that's why he wears a mask. First thing out of an industry plant. We're not industry plants, exactly. They're not organic in any way at all. Everything about this band I don't like. Them and Dogma and fucking fake Vigenda, whatever they fucking call themselves. Any mysterious mass band now, I'm immediately like, fuck off. It's old. It's done. Ever since social media, masked mysterious bands are over. It's just a lame ass gimmick now. That's it. I don't know about this weird situation. I personally would tell them to fuck themselves. I also personally wouldn't have been at that show in the first place. So what do you do? Let's see. Was this on Instagram? Obscure. Let me look this up really quick. Any more horrifying Epstein files come out? Obscure promotion. There they are. Hut. This is obscure promotion. They are doing lots of stuff. Event guide for Slaughter to Prevail. Oh, there's President. They took a picture. I thought pictures weren't allowed. How come you got a picture? The President formation launched the party in the sold-out O2. We were vibing and suddenly this. Can you see yourself in the cauldron? The following are landmarks and architects. Keep an eye on stories. Someone said it looks like a playback. Weird. Lame. I don't know what else to say about that besides that's fucking weird. We got Chris R dropping a gifted Wyatt's Metal membership. Shout out. Hell yeah, appreciate that. Someone says, oh my God, I caught you live. Apparently so. Here I am. We're not an industry plant. Proceeds to ban cameras for an opening ban. It's a little suspicious, isn't it? Oh, Chris R dropped another $2 super chat, but said, my favorite metal channel, you get hyped. Hell yeah, shout out. Thank you, dude. Appreciate that. Shout out to everybody tuning in, making fun of these stupid, funny bands. Speaking of which, there's a really good video to go over a little bit later. $2 super chat from Chris R says, hey, bro, do you like the rump lead? I don't know what that means, so I can't answer. Yeah, that was weird. Motherfucking president's lame. I would just avoid everything having to do with that. What else is there to talk? Do I get to this really fun story? This really weird, interesting, confusing story? It's a band, the Rumpled. I don't know who that is. Everyone's talking about the Epstein files. Good. Literally, like when I turn on my YouTube these last couple days, anyone who's not talking about the Epstein files, I'm not interested. I'm like, why? And why are you talking about anything else? This literally should be everything shut down. Stop. We're going through every single page. Get the pitchforks. Put up the spikes. Get the guillotine. Gilbert says, I will be meeting you at Milwaukee Metal Fest. Can we go over Milwaukee Metal Fest 2026? We can. I mean, we've gone over it a couple times in live streams before, but it is quite a good lineup. I think so. I'm excited for it. Did they update it? Last time they didn't update their fucking page. I'm still not sure if this is the full lineup. Here we go. Tim Lambesis is in the Epstein files, right? I don't think, not that we've seen. I mean, who knows? Maybe redacted. I doubt it. Just because he's a douchebag doesn't mean he's on there. Celtic Girl says, I don't care about left or right. All I care about is truth. 100%. Yeah, I'm in the category of I want every name released. I do not give a single fuck who it is. Every single one of them should be held accountable. If you're playing sides over the Epstein files, you're a depraved person. You like my favorite here, Lemmy could be in the Epstein files. I would throw him under the bus immediately. I highly don't think he is. Not one single tiny bit of me thinks that Lemmy would be in the Epstein files. But if he was, I would burn it immediately. That's how it works. If my mom was in the Epstein files, she's going down. Is Tim Lambesis in the Ian Walken files? Well, maybe that one's different. Maybe. But yeah, if anyone's playing any type of sides, it's insane. Epstein, everybody Epstein. I would like the term we all scream for Epstein. I think that one flows better. Anyway, yeah. What's been your guys' favorite part of the Epstein files drop? As we said in the very beginning of the stream, just every conspiracy is true. There you go. Just start with that. Tells you everything you need to know. Chat demands a Thea Rocket. He's chilling over here right now. He was asleep before. That's a good way to derail a conversation, but come here, little buddy. Come here. You know who's not on the client list? Rocket. Rocket says everyone in the Epstein files should burn slowly. How you doing, baby? Yeah. No, you're okay. You're on TV right now. Everybody loves you. I would make a video of bands Rocket dislikes, but it would be all of them. He thinks you're all lame and posers. Yeah. What are you doing? Someone asked how old he is. When Milwaukee Metal Fest comes, he will be 2 years old already. Holy shit. You're so big now. He was so tiny. When I first rescued him, he fit in the palm of my hand and didn't weigh anything. Now he's a big old fat kitty. Yeah. You want to get down? Do you want to get down? He won't even look at you guys. That's how disgusted he is. Anyway. What are we talking about? Rocket reminds me of my cat named Mayhem. Did you throw out his chair? No, I have it in the corner over here by the window. I finally got a new computer chair because it was so bad and falling apart. But I didn't throw away the old one because I don't want him to scratch up this one. And thankfully he hasn't yet. He's allopathically grooming you. That is love. He's doing the good grooming, not the Epstein grooming. Yeah. I love him very much. Anti-Guy says, you and Rocket are fucking cool. Thank you. Appreciate that. Milwaukee Metal Fest. I've never seen the lineup on this podcast. We've gone. You don't watch the show all the time. Because we definitely got. I'm sending Godzilla straight to your house. Motherfucker. I will pull up that right now. But first, got a $2 super chat from Anti-Guy. Says, favorite Slayer song? Man, obviously there's lots to choose from. The Antichrist is definitely one of them. Born of Fire is fucking great. I love Evil Has No Boundaries just because it's straight up crazy speed metal. Of course, there's, Raining Blood, of course, but That one instantly just puts chills over everything, stops when that comes on. Black Magic's a good one that somebody shouted out. I think lately it's been Born of Fire as one I've been playing a lot. It's just a crazy fucking relentless good song. People are saying Repentless, Chemical Warfare, Payback, Die by the Sword. That's a good one. Anyway, Milwaukee Metal Fest, which I definitely am planning on attending. Years already flying by. Oh, Milwaukee Metal Fest is in June, right? Shit, yeah. Was it Hell's Heroes is already next month. That one's coming up quick, but Milwaukee Metal Fest ran by Jamie Josta, friend of the channel. Pre-party with Justin, friends, Bonganator, and more. We got headlining first day, we got Acid Bath with Obituary, Agalosh, Iron Reagan, Incantation, Pallbearer, Hyrax, Nunslaughter, Master, so there won't be any ripped to shreds there. Polka Dot Cadavers, very fun, weird band. I think that's Creeping Death, More to Scold, Flesh Parade. There's more down here of Dusk, Jeffrey Nothing, Dawn of Orberus. They're a good band. Blood Vulture, Cardiac Arrest. I don't know what the hell that says. Eyes of the Living, Misery and Dirt. I like a lot of this. I don't like Agalosh, I'm going to be honest, but pretty much everything here up is good. And I haven't seen Acid Bath yet, so that will be nice to finally get that one scratched off the list. Someone asked, who's worse, Tim Lambesis or Ian Watkins? Of course. That's Tim Lambesis is a piece of shit, but that's no fucking... Tim Lambesis didn't rape a baby. He's an absolute scumbag, but yeah. There's different levels of evil. It can still be evil. Love the last Pallbearer. You probably would find them boring. You're probably right. No, I don't want to diss them or anything. They're not a band like I'm like, gross or anything, but it's not. There's going to be something faster that would be more of interest to me while they play, probably. But I noticed that Jamie has not brought back the onslaught of power metal like he did, I think it was 2 years ago when it last went, which I liked. I liked when there were power metal bands there, but I just happened to notice that they haven't made a comeback. But day 2, headliners are Killswitch Engage, who I'm not a fan of, so I'll get to go to bed early that night. Sweet. But I do enjoy Suicidal Tendencies. Machine Head, they put on a good show last time I saw them at Milwaukee. The crowd always goes crazy for them. Europeans weirdly love Machine Head. They at least did. In like 2009 or so, Europeans loved Machine Head. Power Trip, awesome as fuck. Hell yeah. Agalosh playing again. Pass. Napalm Death. I love the fuck out of Napalm Death. They are also playing twice. I will be watching both sets. Nails, another epic fucking brutal band. I'm not a fan of Armored Saint, but they are there for those that like them. Sacred Reich. Havoc are fun. We got Weekend Nachos. Internal Bleeding are brutal. Someone asked if I like Slam. They're aren't they Slam? Or they're pretty close to Slam? I put them on there. Anyway. Who else is down here? We got Castrator, Casket Robbery, Human Artifacts, playing right down the street from where Dahmer used to live. That's hilarious. Heavy Hitter, Brick by Brick. I don't know what that one says. The suffering, striking, something. I can't read these bottom ones. This one's all right. I mean, it's pretty good. I like this middle section pretty good, just not for Kill Switch, but that's fine. I'll allow it. Last day, Sunday, June 7th of Milwaukee Metal Fest. Headliners are Ministry, who are fucking fantastic live, even if I think their new songs are kind of lame. When I've seen them live, they've fucking impressed me every time. Napalm Death playing again. Very much welcome. I will take it. John Bush playing songs from his Anthrax era, songs that I never liked, so I won't watch it. But if you like John Bush, then you can watch that. All Shall Perish, Psycho Myco, Integrita, Uda, Dead Guy, Primitive Man. I don't fucking know. I also don't know. Now we're getting to the hard to read ones. Texas Toast Chainsaw Massacre. Some bands have weird names. Last day I would watch Ministry, Napalm Death, probably Psycho Myco, Integrity, Uda. I would see what these are, but I have no idea. Yep. That is Milwaukee Metal Festival. I think it's a great fest for veterans and newcomers. It says, I won't lie, I like a few G.G. Allen songs. I can't do G.G. Allen. It's us. I don't know. I have morals. It's hard to look past his fucking bizarreness. Yeah. Now Rocket's all excited. Someone said, yeah, Machine Head is sick. I thought they were really good when I saw them at Milwaukee Metal Fest a couple years ago. Because the power metal bands are down the road at Mad with Power. You might be right. That would make sense. But like Doro played and she had a great reception. It was packed for her. Not like super power metal, but I mean. Kevin McDougall says All Shall Paris is a really cool band. I almost met them. Wage Slaves is a great song. There you go. Oh, I got another 199 super chat from Rage Mage. What is up? Says Creator or Exodus. Oh man. Older albums, I would probably say Creator. Up until like Hordes of Chaos. After that, definitely Exodus. Especially now that Rob Dukes is back and Creator's boring. Now Exodus, but back in the day, Creator. I feel like that's a thing most people agree on now, is that Creator's just gotten extremely mid. It's just boring melodic thrash, very simple, sort of catchy chorus. Not like the kill everyone, pleasure to kill craziness that they used to be. Like I saw Creator open for Merciful Fate, and pretty much everyone was like, yeah, I liked when they played Pleasure to Kill, but I mean, besides that, it was kind of boring. Creator is like Diet 3 Inches of Blood now. Damn. I can dig 3 Inches of Blood, but that's definitely not what Creator is supposed to sound like. Huh. It's like, I know those bands, but I'm pretty recent to metal, so we'll definitely check out both of their earlier stuff. I just think the last 3-4 albums Creator's kind of gotten pretty samey, boring. I saw them together once back when they were both still like very, very good, and that was great. I always thought Exodus was better. There you go. Yeah, Milwaukee. Oh shit. I almost closed my stream. Fuck. We're still here. We're good. Rocket wants something. Every single day of his life, he starts bugging me for food an hour before I feed him. It happens every single day. And you do it every time. I've only given you every single meal of your entire life, and you still act like I'm not going to do it. Yeah. Even at home, I get no respect. Gerbert says, I'm in a bit of a pickle. I don't know what to minor in. I'm choosing between creative writing, history, and music. Just don't choose the minors that Epstein was into. Any one of those is a better choice. I'm here to tell you that it doesn't matter. AI will replace it anyway. I mean, I don't know. I can't tell you what to do with your own interest there. Anti-Guy says, but I got into metal thanks to your channel, so yeah, thanks. Fuck yeah, that is awesome. That's really cool to hear. I'm giving him the opposite of a boo this man. A woo. I still need to make like a woo this man thing to change that. That's awesome. Jackson Alonzo says, Wyatt, do you have Discord? No, I used to have a Discord. I just don't like Discord. I just find it kind of annoying. People have asked for it before. I don't know, if someone wants to make like a Wyatt's Metals fans Discord thing, then sure, I guess, but I'm not going to make an official one. Sorry. I'm not on all of the cool hip stuff. Anyway, there was something. Do we get to the really funny thing? I think we probably should. All right. Hang on. I'm pause for dramatic effect. Shush. Quit yelling at me. Kevin McDougal says, got to take out the garbage at -15 degrees. No comment in Californian. Sorry, my bad. You want to be on TV again? Let's talk about something really fucking funny that I became aware of this morning. So, this is going to be hilarious. I promise you. Where do we start? I made a short the other day that was titled Fake Varg with a laughing emoji because somebody was commenting on one of my videos in a very funny, interesting way. If you didn't see that, I will inform you. On my video, Worst Bandmates of All Time Part 2, someone commented recently, Varg was not in Mayhem, so he was not his bandmate, you censored fucking retard. The censored part I thought was funny because I say fucking retard all the time. This comment came from an official Varg 14. And if you look at official Varg 14's profile, they are posting Varg videos. It says this channel will be mainly used to upload my TikTok videos for YouTube users. I will also upload videos not suitable for TikTok here. Joined last year, yada yada. All of his I still can't get my truck to work videos. Now, I immediately assumed that this was some kid pretending to be Varg because in the comment, he talks in third person and he censors fucking retard, which I thought was very not in character for who I like to refer to as the Voldemort of metal, because it kind of fits with the mythos. So I commented saying, you aren't Varg. because I was quite sure that this was some child being like, Varg is so cool, I'm going to upload his videos. They responded, actually, I am ... I responded, yes, because he definitely speaks in third person and it would censor the words fucking retard, you child. They responded with, why not address the claim instead? Varg was not in Mayhem, and he only played the bass for an album 1 year before he killed that clown. Ergo, you are spewing lies! Lies! So I was very much assuming it's some kid. I said, dude, seriously, why are you pretending to be Varg? It's weird. They didn't respond. Varg was not in Mayhem. He only played bass for an album. This is an extremely stupid sentence because I didn't believe that Varg would talk in third person. And why would you claim you were not in a band that you played the bass for their debut album for? Because I never stated like he was a long-time full-on member of the band or anything. But he, however you want to look at it, even for a little bit before killing Euronymous, he was in the band. If you recorded the bass for an album, you're in the band at least partially. You know, I get you weren't an original member. But anyway, the reason why I'm going off on this is because people were commenting on the video saying, dude, I think that's really him. I'm like, no way. That seems retarded. I went and looked at Varg. Oh, shit. Oh God. I thought I closed the channel or the stream. No, we're still here. Anyway, I went and looked at Varg Vikernes' TikTok, which is a weird thing to say because Varg Vikernes being on TikTok is a weird thought. But Varg
on Instagram
video
at all, and I have never been there. I'm not on Facebook at all, and I've never been there. I'm not on Telegram at all, and I have never been there. Not on Snapchat at all, and I have never been there. To help you avoid supporting thieves and scammers, I'm going to provide you with a complete list of social platforms where I am. I am
just say this does not look like AI.
on TikTok on this account. And I say that even though it should be obvious, because I've already had to delete 14 accounts by people who pretended to be me here on TikTok.
He said he had to delete 14 accounts.
Use the same profile pictures, use the same name, and also used an account name that was very similar to me intentionally for you to get confused by it. I'm also on YouTube on an RPG account, but also on an account where I upload
Official Varg 14. He said he deleted 14 fake accounts. That YouTube account that commented saying, Varg was never in Mayhem, you're spreading lies. That's the same account. I was looking at this over and over again, making sure every single letter is correct. O, F, F, I, C. I got lost already. Where am I? O, F, F, I, C, I, A, L. Varg, 14. No spaces. Or, damn it, I need to get better at sharing stuff. They are the same. So, is this the real Varg Vikernes? Did the real Varg Vikernes attempt to call me a fucking retard but censored himself. Why is he talking in third person? Why would the real Varg be denying being in mayhem to the point where he says I'm spewing lies when there's videos of him talking about playing bass in mayhem? Shut the hell up, Rocket. This is important. I know you're talking. Black metal upset him. This is from official Varg.
Did I play the bass on the debut album of Mayhem? Let's find out. At the time, in 1992, he lived in Oslo. I lived about 500 kilometers away in Bergen. The reason why I had anything to do with him whatsoever was because his label, Deathlike Silence Production, released my Burzum debut album. Whilst I was sitting there in Bergen reading...
Saying he played bass but wasn't a member, but that reaction is like one of like, I was never in this band, you're spreading fucking lies. If you played bass on a full album, I get you're not a full-blown member, or, you know, not original member, but that's a weird reaction to have, to be like, you're spewing lies, even though I played the bass on their debut album and practiced with them. Like, if this is the real Varg, couldn't you have just been like, I wasn't fully in the band, I just played the bass on the album? That's different. You know? Varg seems like real life Saruman, he wishes. Man, this Skyrim guy is annoying. What the fuck is a kilometer? That's the main question. Anyway, Varg, keep talking about the band that you were never in, that I'm spreading lies about.
Role-playing game books, enjoying it thoroughly. He was in Oslo, and as I have tried to explain earlier in other videos, he was kind of a mythomaniac, spreading myths to boost interest in his products, and that would be Mayhem mainly. And now he had released the Burzum debut album, so he was doing the same for Burzum. So while
you guys remember that crazy ass comment that was in my dumbest comments video, where the guy wrote like a book about how Varg wasn't in Mayhem or just freaked out or whatever? Do you think that guy actually knew Varg and was like, oh, I'll get him to come on, but they're weird? I don't know. If I played the bass for a band's debut album, it would be weird to go, no, saying I was in the band at all is a fucking lie, you censored fucking retard. Is Varg Krieg enough to burn churches and kill Euronymous, but not Krieg enough to say the word retard?
I was sitting there innocently, reading role-playing game books in Bergen, 500 kilometers away. He was spreading rumors about Vrog, bro, the Count. And he spread ideas like that because he wanted to gatekeep, as I've told in a couple of other videos. He wanted to make sure that nobody else started playing black metal because he didn't want others to become more famous than Mayhem was. So Mayhem was supposed to be like the black metal bands, and some others were accepted because of practical reasons. For
you hear that crow in the background?
example, Burzum, because it was on his label. And because it was on his label, using his logic,
there it is again.
He had to create a myth around Burzum as well. And he did. The problem was that he did this so effectively that in the end, Burzum was more true than Mayhem was. Burzum was the coolest, the most extreme band. And mind you, all the time I was sitting there reading RPG books and making music and wasn't really paying attention. Didn't really know about...
If that's the real Varg that commented, you're welcome to come on live stream and tell me to my face that I'm a fucking retard. You just can't censor yourself. But besides that, please That would be fantastic. I would be flabbergasted. I already kind of am.
All of this.
I can't. How are you supposed to drop the Epstein files and Varg talking in third person and calling me a recensored at the same time? The human mind can only take so much.
And the things I got to know about, I didn't care about. And I didn't take it seriously and just like, okay. But as I explained in my other video here, where I talked about him gatekeeping, he had a problem here because he so efficiently spread rumors about Burzum that in the end, Burzum was more extreme in the view of people than Mayhem was. What can you do about that, right? Well, of course, he asked me if I could play the bass on their album, because that way, the most extreme guy in the scene would have been in Mayhem. So Mayhem would then, become the most extreme band with the most extreme members. And mind you, I wasn't very extreme. It's just that he presented me to the black metal scene as extreme because he wanted.
Did he just say I wasn't extreme even though I burnt fucking churches down?
To gatekeep. So I went over there and participated on a few rehearsals. And honestly, that was all I needed. And yes, I did make.
If that's true, I can't believe that either. Why would you? Why would you think that what some people refer to as the most notorious metal musician of all time commented on your video speaking in third person, self-censoring like a liberal? Why would I have thought that? That's like, you don't assume that Epstein Island was real right away. You have to be shown stuff, and then you're like, oh, that's the same situation here.
A few bass riffs for that album because he had made the album as a guitar album. Hallhammer made the drum stuff for the tracks he had made, and I had to make bass lines for them because he hadn't done that already. And if you want to identify exactly the bass riffs that I made for that album, you can find all the tremolo picking on multiple strings.
I was never in the band. I just wrote the bass for their album and played on it. But you're spewing lies. I still mostly don't really think that that's the real Varg, because if it is, I'm like, are you retarded? Were you drunk? Like, I'm confused. If that's really him, I welcome him to come on here and insult me to my face as much as he possibly wants. I think it'd be great.
Why on earth did I? Before I didn't socialize with these few rehearsals, they came over to Bergen, where I lived. And honestly, that was all I needed. And yes, I did make a few bass riffs for that album because he had made the album as a guitar album. Hallhammer made the drum stuff for the tracks he had made, and I had to make bass lines for them because he hadn't done that already. And if you want to identify exactly the bass riffs that I made for that album, you can find all the tremolo picking on multiple strings. If there's something like that, it's made by me. Etc. That kind of stuff.
But he wasn't in the band.
And when it was time to record the album after a few rehearsals, they came over to Bergen, where I lived. So we recorded the album in a hurry. I just recorded the bass lines, first take on every single track, and I left. And of course, he interpreted that not as I intended, namely that this was their album, their project. I did my thing and I left because, you mix it. It's your album. Instead, he took
That's fine. But it's still weird to claim that you're spewing lies that I was in the band.
That's an insult, and me lacking interest in his album. It was my album. It was his album. And mind you, at the time, I wasn't very negative to...
Which, by the way...
Euronymous. I didn't really know him at all. I'd only met him a few times and talked to him on the phone a few times. And like I've said multiple times before, I didn't socialize with these guys. I lived in Bergen, 500 kilometers away. And I only socialized, so to speak, with them for professional reasons. That is, to rehearse with them or to help him out in the shop, as I explained before. As you know, I'm not credited for playing the bass on that album. I don't want any money for it. And
That's fine. But it's still super weird to be like, no, he in third person was never in the band.
Fine, I don't want to. I don't
But
care.
he did say in third person that he killed that clown. But saying he was a bandmate, that's a spewing lies. Okay.
And this is something Hellhammer had to do for practical reasons. But as for my opinion about that album, I think it's, musically it's okay. But I think the vocals is ruining it completely. I don't like the vocals. And
I'm not mad at him for this take, honestly.
I don't think, Attila was a cool guy and everything. But no, I don't like the vocals. Sorry. I think it's ruined the whole album. And especially on songs like Freezing Moon, that, we were used to Dead's vocal. It was really cool. And then he did something completely different, and I didn't like it at all. And I know he wanted to have his own artistic version of it, but no, don't like it. As a curiosity, I can add that the first time I heard that was in...
Anyway, that's pretty much all. You get the point. He admits to playing on the album, but if that is really him commenting, calling me, I don't know what he said because he censored it. I'm confused. What is reality? What is going on? Nothing makes sense. Soylent Green is people. I need a, you know what? I need a 50 cal breakdown right now. That was just way too much Norwegian up in here. We need to bring some dosage of heavy metal American artillery back into it. Someone said, yeah, I'm fairly sure his eldest son posts comments for his wizard dad. Well, that's lame. I cannot believe that. I hope he sees this one day. I'm going to clip this into a video. Don't worry. But to finish up on this weird Varg revelation, maybe, if this is him speaking in third person, Varg was not in Mayhem. He only played bass for an album 1 year before he killed that clown. I would never talk about myself this way. But anyway, what exactly did I say in my video about Varg and Euronymous? I am way more insulting to Euronymous than I am Varg in this video. One of them on here and not the other, so I thought I'd include both of them for you all to fight each other in the comments. The legend that every high school underground metalhead believes is the most evil story in metal's history. Euronymous was the original guitarist for the band Mayhem, pioneers of the Norwegian black metal scene. Euronymous was a try-hard dorky teenager who was obsessed with being seen as the true black metal warrior. One day, he came home to discover Mayhem's vocalist Dead had blown his brains out, and as all good Samaritans do, Euronymous did not hesitate to run out and buy a camera and rearrange the scene to make it look more dramatic and take pictures, which ended up being the cover of a bootleg Mayhem album. We've all seen it. It's gross. Euronymous did... This is peak YouTube, by the way. I'm reacting to my own video. Peak internet in 2026. alert the police, but he also collected a couple fragments of dead skull and put them on necklaces to give to his friends. Typical Norwegian gifts. His actions enraged bass player Necro Butcher, who was good friends with Dead and left the band in protest. And replacing him on bass was the one and only Varg Vikernes, the Voldemort of metal. Varg had his own project called Burzum, so joining Mayhem wasn't really his be-all end-all. During this time, Euronymous had his own record shop called Helvete, which became the main hangout. Dude, when you look at these old pictures of Euronymous, he was gay as fuck. Come on. He's less hidden than Rob Halford. And birthplace of the Norwegian black metal scene. This super serious, scary, satanic record shop run by the true Dark Lord of black metal was financed entirely by Euronymous' parents' money, never made a profit, and was eventually shut down when his parents asked him to. True black metal! Along with his business failure, Euronymous owed several bands money from his failed record label that he couldn't afford, one of which being Varg's Burzum. Varg was a bumbling little bag of extremism who'd already taken up the hobby of burning down churches across Norway. Where are the lies? Where are the lies, Mr. Grishnak? Senor Vikernes. ¿Qué pasa? The two began as close friends, hanging out, talking about black metal, Satanism, and burning churches together, as all teenagers do. But Varg's views began to grow more radical. Yes, more radical than burning churches. And the two quickly began to resent each other. In a scene populated by pretentious egos, Euronymous saw himself as the one true Dark Lord, and felt challenged by Varg's rise in notoriety. Most disrespectfully, however, was Euronymous began holding money from Varg that he owed him for Burzum's album. Being the hot-headed youngin' that he was, a nervous Euronymous started spouting off publicly that he was going to murder Varg, and Varg took that personally. Then, the night that lives in black metal infamy. Varg went to Euronymous' apartment, claiming that he just wanted to talk to him at 3 a.m. with a giant knife. One thing led to another, and Euronymous ended up dead with 23 stab wounds, 16 of which were in the back. Is that not what happened? If it is, like I said, Mr. Vikernes, please come on to the show. You can say whatever insults you want to my face, as long as you do not censor yourself. And my only question for you is, did you stop to drink chocolate milk while you were stabbing Euronymous? I need to know. Why was that scene in the movie? Did you also think it was retarded as fuck? So that was weird. I found that out this morning before coming on here. Like, this looks like it might be the real Varg, but it's written like a retarded 17-year-old who just found black metal. So, like, I don't know, man. Anyway, I definitely will take it as a badge of honor if Varg got pissed off at me for something really stupid. Anyway, where are we at here in the comments? Someone beat me to the punch there with the Euronymous and the crop top. There's lots of them. Very strange. And it's not hot in Norway. Like, ever. Right. Pretty much. Rocket's playing with a little toy. Did someone tag you, or do you just watch Varg and giggle in the morning? People, I made a short making fun of that comment, saying it was some kid pretending to be Varg, and a couple of people were commenting saying, dude, I think that's really him. And that's why I went and checked on the TikTok and found that. Which is weird, because I wouldn't believe any of that shit. You went from burning churches to ranting on TikTok? Damn. You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become domesticated. Not metal related, but Slip Kitty shares, gross. I'm seeing reports of ICE is in Canada now. how would an American agency be in Canada? That doesn't make any sense. I said, he's being paid by Epstein. I don't think Varg was that notorious to go to the island. Imagine if he went there and burned it down. That would be great. I'm saying I had a great plan for Epstein Island. We take everyone who was there at all, even if they're like, I was only there for a conference with a bunch of other people. We take everyone who was ever there and we tell them all that welcome to Battle Royale. The last person standing gets a full pardon for everything they did, but they can be the only one still standing. And then we sell access online so people can watch the rich people kill and eat each other. And then we take the winner and we do like Wicker Man. We fucking set them on fire. Welcome to a fun metal chat. There's a lot of ice in Canada given how cold it is. That's true, yeah. They definitely have it there all the time, actually. Canadians are about to be deported to Greenland. That would be hilarious. They're like, what do I do? Learn how to build an igloo. The Greenland shit is retarded. I did not know that Trump is definitely not the first American president to talk about acquiring Greenland. If you look, I thought he was, but if you look into it, there's plenty that have before. I still think it's a stupid idea, but apparently it wasn't his original one, which is weird. Would you like something, Rocket? I heard about it. ICE is inspecting people at the Canadian border. As a Canadian, get the fuck off our territory. The only threat allowed is Godzilla. But they wouldn't be checking people going into Canada, would they? They'd be checking people going to America, right? It wouldn't make any sense for ICE. First of all, they're not Border Patrol, but they wouldn't check people going into a different country. That's strange. There's border customs for sure. Yeah, that happens everywhere. The C and I stands for customs. There was always ICE agents at the crossing. He said reason was to keep China and Russia out. Or whatever. I don't really care that much if I'm being completely honest. I think everyone should be talking about the Epstein files. And Rocket being loud and annoying. Does Canada even get warm? Only when they eat poutine. Their poutine is fantastic. We're not turning this into an ICE chat. Though, like I said, I will apparently be the one metal vocalist who will tell you not to go get yourself killed out in the street for no fucking reason. Others, I'm not going to name any names, tend to not have a problem with that, but all right. Anyway, one final thing for this podcast. Varg shit was weird. Let's see. Is there any new breaking either metal or Epstein news? Banger TV released a video 2 hours ago titled, "Is Metal Dead? A Generational Discussion." I don't know if we're watching a 20-minute long Banger TV video right now. Who in the chat is up for that? Probably not a lot. We need the Zorro Ranch Epstein. What's the Zorro Ranch? Is that the fucking child farming place? I know about it. I just don't know the names of everything. Yeah. I literally don't know how anyone could be talking about anything in politics besides the fucking Epstein files right now. Every conspiracy ever was true. Be careful going through it. It's heavy. There is a video here that I wanted to play for everybody. I thought it was quite good. And then we'll wrap it up here. Well, I mean, we still got quite a bit of show left. Don't worry. Sharon says Mondami's mom was in the Epstein files. So the confirmation of spent all day talking about Epstein. The thing that was confirmed was that her name was mentioned as someone who attended an after party. Those pictures going around of her with like Clinton and Epstein and everybody, those are fake. Those are AI pictures. And I think anyone who makes fake stuff about the Epstein files should be set on fire. But it does seem true that there's an email saying she was at an after party. I am not playing defense for Mondami or his mom in any way, but that could mean just the big rich person party where she happened to be one of many people. It could mean that she was eating children with them and anywhere in between. It's hard to tell with it. Someone said yes, every conspiracy is confirmed true in the Epstein files. It's kind of crazy. Rock is very much demanding food. Zorro Ranch in New Mexico. That sounds like what I guessed. The frustrating thing too about it is that a lot of stuff online is fake or planted. That, and then how much from the files is even true too. You know, I mean, I've seen some people going with the mindset of there's a lot of accusations here, so I'm going to assume people aren't guilty unless proven otherwise. I'm assuming everyone in it is guilty unless I get strong evidence that they're not. I say let's just play it safe and condemn every single one of them. The Banger TV channel is a joke now. They rarely ever upload anything and mostly paywall their videos on Patreon these days. Ew. They definitely play it safe with many of their takes. When I saw them delete their review of the latest Slaughter to Prevail album because people were arguing with them in the comments, I thought that was lame. This is the main takeaway from the Epstein files, if anyone hasn't read them yet. Just going to leave that there. Anyway. Yeah, there are pics with Mondami as a teen and them with Clinton and Gates and Bezos just all chilling, no Secret Service. Those aren't real. From what I've seen, those were AI and fake. I'm not here to excuse anyone who might be guilty. It could be my grandmother. I'm throwing her under the bus, but I also care about the facts. What's the bet? That's a bad... There is so much. First of all, nobody has gone through all of it yet. It's millions and millions of pages, so there's still constantly things coming up from people who are finding. I don't feel like this is a thing to just be like, oh, give me the quick highlight. What's the best thing in there? Oh, whatever. It literally explains how the world works. Every conspiracy is confirmed in the Epstein files. If you don't believe me, go look. They're there. It's crazy. Yep, Nicki Minaj knows. She does know because she was part of it. And now she's trying to save her ass and the family of sexual predators she was with. Just because she's calling it out doesn't mean I trust her innocence of ever. Projector says Dick Cheney is not in the files, and so far he has not been found in them at all. He got hard from power, not kids. What's more evil? The people who committed horrible crimes because they were blackmailed by Epstein or went along with it, or Dick Cheney, who wasn't even interested. He's like, no, I do this shit for fun. I'll destroy the Middle East just because for a laugh. I don't need any blackmail. That's crazy. You got to respect someone who does it for the love of the game, you know? Yeah, there's so much crap in there to go over. It's literally impossible to bring up all of it yet. I've been watching CoffeeZilla go over it. I've been watching, Asmongold's been going over a lot of it. There's been a bunch of people. And like I said, I'm extremely suspicious of any political influencer, YouTuber, or whatever, who isn't talking about it at all. I understand, going through it and figuring it all out, but not rushing to it. But some people have either been quiet or downplaying it. It's very noticeable. Anyway, Randy Marsh was not found in the Epstein files. Darth Vader was not found in the Epstein files. Genghis Khan was not found in the Epstein files. Adolf Hitler was not found in the Epstein files. Varg Vikernes was not found in the Epstein files. Who else is evil but not in there anyway? Rocket's not in the files because he's better than that. He would eat all of them. Give him a taste their own medicine. P. Diddy wasn't in the files. He had his own thing going on. He was like, bro, why would I come to your island? I got my own. Is GTA 6 in the files? No. Of course not. Osama bin Laden was not found in there. Thanos was not found in the Epstein files. Steven Tyler apparently was found in the Epstein files, yet Ted Nugent was not. I haven't confirmed that. This is a comment from OG Penguin. I don't know if Tyler was confirmed. He probably was, but I'm not confirming that one. Mao was not in the Epstein files. Pol Pot was not in the Epstein files. Fidel Castro was in the Epstein files. The Pope was in the Epstein files. Who else? Prince Andrew is just Andrew now. Soon he's gonna not even be a person. He's bad. He's definitely obviously the fall guy, but Joseph Stalin was not in the files. Anthony Kiedis probably is in the files. Let's be honest, that he probably is. Everyone that you like is in the files. Jerry Seinfeld, I think, actually was in the files, but I'd have to double check that. I am not in the files. I would be the executioner of all of them. Fun times in America. Ozzy was not. I didn't check. Honestly, I didn't check yet. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about him. Adam Sandler was in the files. I'm suspicious. I don't know. If Varg is in the Uranus files. And Frank doesn't know if she... Damn. That's terrible. Anyway, yeah. The Epstein files are a blasty blast to go through. The worst conspiracies you've ever heard from psychopaths are true. You're welcome. Ian Watkins, I don't think was found in the Epstein files. He was too depraved for them. They were like, whoa, dude. I know we have an island out here, but eyeliner? That's going a little far. Jesus. Helen Keller is not aware if she was in the files or not. The creator of The Simpsons was rumored to go to the island. Maybe that's how they were able to predict everything. This guy was not in the files, thankfully. Dogma was not the house band. They would have been the right age for it, but I don't think so. Epstein Files controversy will die as fast as the Jet 2 holiday audio. Oh, yeah. That's the worst part about the Epstein Files coming out is that no one gives a fuck. I don't think any of these people will face real consequences. No one will change their views on politics or culture because of it. They will only look for the people they already dislike and slander them and people they hate for being fans of these pedophiles, Epstein friends, and they will completely ignore the people they like who are in it. 1000%. Everyone acting all like, we need it, it's so important. No one will do anything. You know the truth? What are you going to do about it? Not shit. This is just a trend like most shit, sadly. It should be, overthrowing everything, burn everything to the ground, start a new society, put me in charge. That's what it should be. But it won't. No one cares. Elon Musk was not allowed to participate in the Epstein files. Those ones are weird as fuck. Because obviously he has been very vocal about getting them released. But then he's in them begging to come to the island. It's weird. All of them have explaining, don't trust any of them. Fight over ICE and ignore all the child abuse. Exactly. Go let the peasants, as people less racist than Epstein would call them. Epstein would call them by a other name that starts with a, is it a G? I think, yeah. He would tell you to go out and die over this shit so that you don't pay attention to the real criminals. That's how it's literally in the dude. If you were in public and you read word for word what some of these emails say to a friend of yours, they would call you a Nazi. They would say that you're insane and that you're saying wild, crazy batshit, and you were literally reading Epstein's own words from it. It's crazy. Robert E. Lee was not in the files. Oppenheimer was not in the files. Gigi Allen was not in the files. Yeah. Fucking hell. I mean, what is there to even go to with that? I blame TikTok for constantly going, what's the next big thing? It's part of it. You know who was in the Epstein files? The owner of TMZ, who Epstein said was a good friend of his and could help with PR campaign to have people not think Epstein was such a monster. That's in there. Every single media person you see saying this person was proven to be in the Epstein files, they are also in the Epstein files. Every single one of them. Someone from CNN is saying that people from Fox were in the Epstein files, ignoring that the people from CNN are also in the Epstein files. The people from Fox are doing the same thing. A lot of these, quote, independent journalists and influencers, same thing. Don't trust any of them. Richard Nixon was not in. I don't think he was. I don't think he was, actually. Michael Jackson was in the files, but as a white guy. Yeah. Harvey Levine, yes. The owner from TMZ. Good friends with Epstein, according to Epstein. But then TMZ is posting the most shocking things found in the files. Our boss. Jeffrey Epstein was probably in the files if I had to guess. Epstein files are like COVID, same thing. People aren't going to do shit. Exactly. Also the same as global warming. Epstein's best friend, Bill Gates, quietly coming out and being like, oh, by the way, global warming is not a big deal anymore. Yeah, we said it was, but it's actually not. That happened. Did you know that? That happened recently. Hot dogs, pizza, and pasta. What kind of Olive Garden are these people talking about? I'm just saying. We've gone full-blown conspiracy. We did all the metal shit. It's fine. I like pizza. I think most people like pizza. Do you like pizza to the point where you're emailing your friends very weird things about slicing cheese pizza with grape soda together for an hour? And do you? I don't talk about any type of food like that with my friends. Pineapples on pizzas, that's the main thing that we're talking about. That's the main takeaway of the conversation here. Rocket is demanding of food. Rocket, what do you want? Meow, meow. Meow, meow. Who do you think is in the files? What do you think we should do to them? Oh, it's too grotesque. I didn't want to say. Okay, god damn it. Should we just watch a video about the Epstein files or do what? Because fuck it, we're talking about it. Last thing I'm going to go out with. I'm going to pull up someone I trust to tell verified information. This is like when Charlie Kirk got assassinated while I was doing the live stream. Like, it's not something I would normally talk about on the channel, but it's literally happening right now. So, like, how do you not? Oh, this is a long-ass video. It's fine. We'll start with this first one when they first came out. But, all right. Oh, Bill Gates obviously said that it wasn't true that he got an STD from Russian hookers and was going to slip his wife medication without her knowing. He says, no, that's false. So that's good. Nothing to worry about there. Coffeezilla, side channel Voidzilla. He's been doing great work ever since the beginning of it. I think he comes off as pretty non-biased. This is the first video he made on it 4 days ago when they just came out. He made another one with more detail, but that was 40 minutes long, and I'm not going to do that right now. Squidward was in the... Mr. Krabs was definitely in the files, 100%. There should be an audiobook version of the files. That would be 30 years long. That would be like listening to War and Peace 5 times. There's millions of them. Anyway, Coffeezilla. Go ahead and explain what he initially found.
The FBI just dropped 3.5 million files, and it is incredible. Huge bombshell.
He doesn't even get to the worst of the worst.
About some of the most powerful people on the planet. I can't believe they let some of this stuff out. I mean, it is stunning. Honestly, one of the biggest lies we've seen is the idea that the FBI could possibly come to us and say, not only is there not a client list, there was no credible evidence that Epstein blackmailed prominent individuals. Guys.
Yeah, what's up, cross-eyed Cash? Honeypot Cash? Lying through his fucking cross eyes?
We're about to see planned blackmail to one of the most powerful people on the planet, and that is Bill Gates. Listen, there's a lot we're going to get to, but we have to start with probably the craziest revelation here, which is Jeffrey Epstein emailing himself about Bill Gates. Now, if you don't know, Bill Gates and Epstein had a relationship post-2008. That's a big year. You're going to hear a lot today because 2008 was the time.
I think everyone who emailed Jeffrey Epstein after 2008 should be put into a boiling pot like the feudal Japanese used to do.
That Epstein pled guilty for soliciting of somebody under the age of 18. He was a predator at this point. Everybody knew it. Now, eventually, Bill Gates would get divorced when all of this came out. Melinda Gates said it was part of the direct cause for the divorce. She said she met Epstein and said he was evil.
He was evil personified.
So you have to...
That was a long time ago, too. Bill Gates' wife came out a while ago saying she divorced him because of Epstein. No one cared.
Understand. This is like Bill Gates' kryptonite. He's one of the richest men on the planet. He's got this huge philanthropy arm. But this relationship with Epstein has been a huge problem for him. And Epstein appears to have known that because in 2013, Bill Gates appears to be distancing himself from Jeffrey Epstein. And Epstein seems to have a problem with that. He says, I assume the dedication to our relation went both ways. Larry has now asked me to recommit to a confidentiality agreement. Basically, he's got to shut up about his relationship with Bill Gates. And this is where the blackmail starts. And it comes in the form of like, if I were you, I would do X. If
Talk about horrific shit in the video and everyone in the chat's talking about lunch.
I were the type of guy that you should be. He says, in that regard, I suggest I buy you the house that you had your heart set on. In addition to 5 years of severance, we'll buy you out of the investment contract we agreed upon, 30 to 40% of an $100 million partnership for $30 million in today's terms. That's what I would have done had I been in your shoes. Then he lays out what he has on Bill Gates, or what he says he has. Quote, to add insult to injury, you subsequently, with tears in your eyes, implore me to delete the emails I had regarding your STD. Your request that I provide you antibiotics that you could surreptitiously give to Melinda, and the description of your, I mean, this is insane. It's completely insane. It's like,
Bill Gates, why? You fucking turtle, wrinkly, Franklin-looking motherfucker.
like basically laying out in text form, I would give me millions of dollars, and I can't believe you're asking me to delete the message where you were going to give STD medication to your wife without her knowledge. I mean, it's complete. It's crazy. It's just completely obvious what he's doing here. It's just a nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Here's what you should do. But now that coming out after Epstein's death, this looks really bad for Gates, obviously, because you usually wouldn't blackmail somebody for something that's
Never playing Xbox ever again, motherfucker.
completely false or fake. I mean, maybe he did that. But we also know Bill Gates had affairs. Obviously, Melinda credits it for their divorce. So it's hard to believe there was nothing sketchy going on. Bill Gates, of course, maintains that it was completely above board. He says the fact this allegation was in here just shows how much Epstein was willing to defame people. But Epstein lays it out. He says he helped Bill.
Every single person who knew Epstein, you should believe them when they said, oh, I didn't know. Oh, okay.
Get drugs in order to deal with the consequences of sex with Russian girls, facilitating his illicit trysts with married women, and to being asked to provide Adderall for bridge tournaments. Look, guys, this is exactly what we suspected the whole time. Epstein was providing services to rich people and expecting payment via blackmail. Now, you might say, and it's true, that we don't know that Epstein ultimately sent that version of an email to Gates. All we know is he sent that to himself. He may have planned the blackmail and just been drafting something. But what we do know are two things. The Wall Street Journal has
Bill Gates is a creepy-ass motherfucker. That's what we know.
reported that Gates was threatened by Epstein over an affair. We also know that after this blackmail email Jeffrey sent to himself was written, eventually Gates sent a $2 million donation to MIT directed by Jeffrey Epstein, which is a bit weird if you had distanced yourself from the guy and y'all had this big falling out. Now, again, do we know for sure that Bill Gates did all of that? No, of course we don't. But do I think Bill Gates would...
Going over the files so far from what I've seen, there's not too much like concrete evidence, a picture of, you know, someone with a kid doing a horrible thing. But all of these emails are real from these big high-level people. Why are they saying this weird shit in the first fucking place?
was innocently looking for charity advice from a after he already pled guilty? No, I don't. I'm sorry. I'm not that gullible. And speaking of not that gullible, we've been lied to also by another richest guy on the planet. Geez, it's a shock why they don't want to put this out. Elon Musk, who has been saying for years that it is a lie that he went to Epstein's island. In fact, he says he refused to go. From Elon, he says...
Yeah, and this fucking retard is arguing that the files are proof that he never went to the island. They show proof that he was trying real hard to go.
Epstein tried to get me to go to his island. I refused. He says anyone pushing this false narrative deserves complete contempt. Later responding to another headline which said Elon Musk planned trip to Epstein's private island. And he says, this is false. But of course, we start to dig through the files and we can see on Epstein's calendar that Elon Musk is booked in December 6th of 2014. But maybe you don't believe that. That's just the word of Jeffrey Epstein. But maybe you'll believe the word of Elon Musk, who was caught emailing Jeffrey Epstein to go to his island post the guilty plea. Elon Musk writes, "We'll be in BVI St. Bart's area over the holidays. Good time to visit." Jeffrey Epstein says, "I will send a heli for you." Later, Elon Musk writes to Epstein, probably just to Lula and me, his ex-wife, what day and night would be the wildest party on your island? The world's richest man is asking the most pedophile man for the wildest party on his island.
4 years after Epstein was already convicted, Elon Musk was sending these emails.
And then it gets more explicit. In 2012, remember, this is the guy who said, "I refused it. I couldn't."
You could argue maybe he didn't know about the conviction, but he knew about the private island with the wild parties, but he didn't know about the conviction.
Never do that, right? It's false. But here in 2012, he says, "Do you have any parties planned? I've been working to the edge of my sanity this year. I really want to hit the party scene in St. Bart's or elsewhere and let loose. The invitation is much appreciated, but a peaceful island experience is the opposite of what I'm looking for." Guys, he can't even play the "I went to go study math" excuse, which is what all these guys do. They say, "Hey, I just went to go talk to scientists." Elon's like, "Hey, I don't want to do that. I'm looking for a party. That's what I'm here to do." And then Jeffrey Epstein writes, "Understood, I will see you on St. Barth. The ratio on my island might make your ex-wife uncomfortable." I can't believe these guys.
Is it a good or bad thing that you were too retarded to join the pedo club? Is that a positive or a negative?
Are lying to us, and people are swallowing it still, thinking that Elon Musk had nothing to do with this guy. So again, that's 2012.
But I really, truly do not understand why Elon would have been bringing so much attention to it, pushing hard for it, saying Trump was in it, when these emails are there showing him trying so hard to go after he was already convicted. I'm not saying these are fake or anything, but that was a weird strategy.
2014. But guess what? There's another time in 2013. I mean, this seems like a yearly thing with the boys. Here, once again, Elon Musk writes, "We'll be in the BVI St. Bart's area over the holidays." Again, is there a good time to visit? Jeffrey Epstein, any day, 1st to the 8th. Play it by ear if you want. Always space for you. They then plan some more, and you might think, well, if Elon ever told the truth, this is when he has to reject, right? Because he said, "I refused." But actually, it appears to be one of those cases where, like, your friend says, like, "Oh, bro, I dumped her." And actually, it was the other way. Yeah, it turns out Elon didn't dump the dumped Elon. He says, "Bad news. Unfortunately, my schedule will keep me in New York. Hopefully, we can schedule another time in the future." Jeffrey Epstein let Elon down. That's actually the real story. Is the reason he didn't go in 2013 was because he couldn't go. Jeffrey Epstein was not there. Guys, I mean, how blatant do they have to make it before we start to just see through it, right? When they issue these ridiculous denials, they're totally associated with the guy after the guilty plea.
That's what I'm saying. It's all of them. Anyone who thinks it's only the famous people I don't like who are all the famous people I like, no, it's all of them.
They lie through their teeth, but they can't even keep their story straight. I mean, that's what's crazy. They're not even competent at this. They get caught in their own lies all the time. Remember, the FBI's official story was they didn't blackmail. Well, before we even had these files, Howard Lutnick was on the record calling Jeffrey Epstein the greatest blackmailer ever.
So how come Bill Gates and all these other people could hang around him and not see what you saw? Or did they see it and ignore it? Or
no, they participated.
Right.
That's what they...
Fuck this guy. The moment he stepped in the office with Trump, I was like, fuck. He's part of all of it. This is an evil motherfucker right here. Don't believe a fucking word from this piece of shit.
His MO was, get a massage. And what happened in that massage room, I assume, was on video. This guy was the greatest blackmailer ever.
Interesting. Okay, so Howard has a different perspective. Now, if you don't know, that guy, do you think he's just telling the truth there? Even this guy who's contradicting the official narrative, this guy literally lived next to Jeffrey Epstein. This guy who's like, "I'm going to tell the truth. Those guys participated." That guy lived next to Jeffrey Epstein. And by the way, he lied too. I love this video we're about to get into because this guy, Mr. He's the greatest blackmailer ever, does he know something we don't know? Because it's interesting. Mr. I'm his neighbor had to also explain how he had nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. And he lays it out pretty simply. He goes, "Yep, I live next to him, but In 2005, I had such a horrible...
Okay. We've gone off metal now. We're just fully talking about this. Trumpy Bear commented, Dan Bongino was probably threatened, but he's still pathetic. Dude, how could anyone take him seriously after that? So for those who aren't up on politics at all, Dan Bongino ran a podcast, a very popular one for a long time, talking about how he got to take down the elites and expose Epstein, and he didn't kill himself, and it's the deep state, and la. And then, quite shockingly, Trump made him not the head of the FBI, but like second in charge behind Kash Patel. He was one of like the second most in charge person of the FBI. And then he says on camera, looking like there's a shotgun aimed at his face, that Epstein definitely killed himself. Nothing to see here, folks. Deal with it. And then a couple of months after, announces that he's leaving the FBI and goes back to his podcast. He left the FBI to go restart his podcast, where he's telling everybody, deep state's bad. We got to stop these people. He was second in charge of the FBI. When he's finally in a spot to actually do something, he's like, actually, there's nothing to see here. Let me go back to my podcast and act like I'm telling the truth. How could anyone take that seriously? That is insane. Like, I don't believe a fucking word you say about anything. You and Kash Patel are the biggest bitches ever after this whole shit. Shut down the FBI since they haven't done anything about this mess. It definitely should be investigated. Nobody should listen to Dan Bongino anymore. I don't know why you would. Be like, the people in charge need to answer. I'm going to get in charge. I'm in charge. There's nothing going on here. I'm going to leave. The people in charge need to answer. Huh? Anyway, let's finish this. I'll stop harassing everybody with... Oh, actually, I completely missed 2 super chats a little bit ago. I apologize. You see what happens when I get thrown off on rants? I didn't mean to do that, but Lord Infinite had dropped a $1.99 super chat saying, I can't type cuss words on here anymore. IGN fault. Or you cussing out IGN, which, you know, is appropriate, but... And then Lord Infinite again with a $4.99 super chat said, I'd rather watch Trey Asgaroth play with dolls. I think that applies for any of the subjects we were talking about on the podcast, honestly. The FBI might as well be the CIA at this point. They might as well be considered an NGO. Yeah. Yeah. It's not how I would handle things.
Horrible experience that I knew I could never talk to him again.
He was your neighbor for 10 years. How well did you know him?
We move in 2005. Okay. Jeffrey Epstein.
This guy is a lizard.
Is arrested in like 08, I think, or something like that.
Right.
So knock on the door. His assistant on like a Saturday says, Mr. Epstein, your neighbor would like to invite you over for coffee. And there's a massage table in the middle of the room. Massage table in the middle of your house? How often do you have a massage? And he says, every day. And then he like gets like weirdly close to me.
Ooh.
And he says, and the right kind of massage.
Weird comment was that from her? Talking about the weird Epstein story. And she's like, ooh. By the way, does this not sound like the fakest, most rehearsed bullshit ever?
Ooh.
Now my wife is standing here. So she looks at me and I look at her and we say, I'm sorry, we have to go. And we...
Exactly like that, with the pause, with the drama, with the effect.
Left. And in the 6 or 8 steps it takes to get from his house to my house. My wife and I decided that
Take
I will
care,
never
bro.
be in the room with that disgusting person ever again.
Well, he couldn't be more clear, could he, right? He says, hey, I may have been his next door neighbor, but I met him once before the 2008 guilty plea. Remember I said that was a big deal. And we got invited over, and it was like 5 seconds, and we left, and we realized he was a creep. We were out of there. He made this rude, lewd comment in front of my wife. I would never go see this guy. And he makes it super clear he's gross.
So I was never in the room with him socially, for business, or for even philanthropy. If that guy was there, I wasn't going because he's gross.
These other guys, they may have participated.
They participated.
But Howard Lutnick, he could never. No. He's too good of a guy. Well, guess what we found in the old emails? Looky. It's Howard Lutnick writing in to Jeffy Boy in 2012. Hi, Jeff. We're landing in St. Thomas early afternoon, planning to head over. Where are you located? What's the exact location for my captain? Does Sunday evening for dinner sound good? Is this the guy you said made a lewd comment to your wife and, I could never be in front of him? He's gross. Guess what the next email is? My boy's wife messaging in saying we're headed towards you in St. Thomas. Later, the subject line, Jeffrey Epstein. Good morning, Howard. Jeffrey wished me to pass you along. Nice seeing you. They clearly met, and the guy is just lying about it to your face, to the American public's face, and they tried to hide it from us. I cannot emphasize this enough. They're lying through their teeth. You think this guy perfectly remembers a 2005,
And they'll keep doing it. That's what I'm saying. The celebrities that you like, the talking TV people that you like, will blame the other people and not mention anything they did, and vice versa.
Walking in the guy's house, I remember exactly what I said to him. My wife and I looked at each other, and he wouldn't remember the 2012. I boated over to his private island for a dinner. Is that what we're really thinking? Is that what we're expected to believe? This is a momentary lapse in his judgment. No, these guys don't even care about being consistent, and they're all throwing each other under the bus. Don't you remember Elon Musk saying the time to drop the really big bomb? Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That's the real reason they haven't been made public. My guy, you also are in the Epstein files.
His brother's in the Epstein files too, and they're a lot worse.
Very clearly doing stuff you lied about, okay? So is Howard Lutnick, who says, yeah, Bill Gates, he's probably getting blackmailed because he participated. What did you do on the island over in 2012, Howard? Do we know that? I mean, does anyone care? Now, the last thing I want to talk about is some of the most explosive stuff.
Oh, yeah. I was going to end the video, but we got to round out with the craziest shit. In the game of power, it's all that power and burning each other at whatever means possibly presented. Yep. It's like, why would you want to be in this club when they burn each other the moment it comes up?
It's also, again, I have to say, unverified, okay? This is the...
So, yeah. He's going to talk about here in this section, that's almost wrapped up, this part with the most explosive things are allegations from an anonymous tip line. So some of the things that you've heard people saying about Trump being in it and whatever come from the anonymous tip line section. That means that probably not all of them are true, because some of them come, as you'll see, like when the election was happening. So anyone could have called in and said that. But it also doesn't mean that none of them are true. It's just these ones are not 100% verifiable, but some of these things you can definitely find on the internet before.
NTOC, the FBI's National Threat Operations Center. And the challenge with confirming some of this is that these are anonymous tips, or they black them out at least, so we don't know who they are, and anyone can drop a tip. Now, that doesn't mean that you should disregard them. It just means we can't verify them. The other challenge is that the FBI has a heavy incentive to discredit anything with Donald Trump in it, just because he's in the White House right now, obviously. And so I want to be clear, there are notes related to some of these submissions where they say things like complainant was spoken to and deemed not credible. Additional research showed 3 separate redacted. You know, it's hard to tell how much this is the proper due diligence of the FBI, which they should be doing, of course, and not all complaints are credible. But also there's this obvious conflict of interest with the fact that the sitting president is in some of these complaints. But here they are for what it's worth. Complaint summary. Blank reported an unidentified female friend who was forced to perform on President Trump approximately 35 years ago in New Jersey. The friend told
I would like to say I feel like approximately is suspicious. You happen to call the day of 35 years ago. I'm not... Anyone guilty should burn 100%. You do have to question some of them.
That she was approximately 13 to 14 years old when this occurred, and the friend allegedly bit President Trump while performing. The friend was allegedly hit in the face after she laughed about biting President Trump. The friend also said she was abused by Epstein. Later, there's very explosive claims about big parties with her, other younger girls, and older Victoria's Secret models, including Bill Clinton and Donald Trump. There's claims third hand about a female victim of Epstein's who wants to publish a book citing Leslie Wexner, Epstein.
Complaint claims to have video of high-profile sex parties dealing with cartels and having witnessed Robin Leach strangle a young girl to death at a party. Featuring Trump, Epstein, Maxwell, Leach, and the Sinaloa cartel. Jesus fuck.
Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, Ghislaine Maxwell is in the videos as well. And it goes on like this for a while. Some of the complaints are just like very graphic. And obviously I'm going to censor out some of it. But I should also mention the DOJ claims that some of these claims were submitted to the FBI right before the 2020 election. To be clear, the claims are unfounded and false. And if they had any shred of credibility, they would have certainly been weaponized against President Trump already. Now, I agree that if a complaint is timed right before an election, there definitely could be some other motivations to that. But it's also ridiculous to say that anything in the Epstein files, if it were true, would have come out already. Because why didn't we see the stuff about Bill Gates, for example? I mean, that stuff apparently has been sitting in here for a long time. And not only did no one talk about it, the FBI literally covered for it. I mean, they said that this was not the case. There are big claims against a lot of powerful people. Nobody in that file really wants to rock the boat or release the files because then they get in trouble and their buddies get in trouble. And that's a huge problem. So I don't really buy the idea that, oh, if it were true, it would have already gotten out. I don't buy that. That's why we need transparency. That's why it's important these files are out. But this is just to look at a small fraction of the files. And
all right, that's mostly the video. You definitely get the point. This did not even scratch the surface of the darkest, most horrid shit that is not alleged is emails between powerful people in the files. I do recommend going through it because I think it's extremely fucking important. Unfortunately, I just discovered the creators of GTA also appeared in the files. Yes, they did. Jeffrey Epstein also influenced microtransactions in video games. Everything you hate in life was made by Jeffrey Epstein. Pretty much. That's what it seems like. The fuck? I come back 3 hours later to Wyatt talking about the Epstein files. That's right. Because it's horrid and important. I think everyone on all sides who ever went to the island should be Vlad the Impaler. That's my political philosophy. Anyway, yeah, crazy times in the world, huh? Crazy times on the Wyatt's Metal Podcast. Find out Varg apparently wants to call me a retard, but talks in third person. Found out every conspiracy is true. Yeah, no, Mike, that's true. That is true. Jeffrey Epstein helped push microtransactions. I'm just... Go watch videos of the files. Go read the files. This shit is not a conspiracy. He did. There's way more in there. But we have gone on for 3 hours. I think there is other things to do. I'm running out of things to talk about. We can't just talk about Epstein the entire time, even though I want to, because it's insane. But I am going to clip the Varg segment from this podcast and put that as a separate video because I feel like people will definitely be entertained by that. What else? My band single will be coming up anytime now. We haven't got it back yet, but is being worked on, and we just sent some emails back and forth, so it should be soon. Everyone you hate is in the Epstein files. Everyone you like is in the Epstein files. The world is a lie. Go listen to metal. Do fun things. We need more. Go out the 50. Let's go out with the 50 cal. All right. I will see you all next week. New videos coming soon. Try to stay sane in an insane world. Take it away, Gundra.